This is the pop sugar financial advice ultimatum on Indian YouTube. I call it the Gen Z money manual. In the last 2 to 3 years, what have you learned new about money?
Learning how to optimize your expenses. 99% of people over here have never even downloaded their bank statements and actually done some analysis on it. Don't even know how money is leaving their life. For most of them, it's a wreck.
Could you please list out 4 of the most common Indian financial mistakes? How many percentage of Indians know how to use the credit cards correctly?
Forget percentage. See, there are about 10 crore credit cards which have been dispersed in India. I would say the number of people who know how to use credit cards properly will not be more than 10,000 people. How do you grow with money? Now, most people just stick to FD, gold, but that's mathematically not the right thing to do. You can invest into assets which can grow as high as 15 to 25%.
25%?
You can get there. If you understand the maths of everything, and how other financial companies are trying to scam you, you will be ahead of 99% of people and money will stay with you as much as possible.
Do you see a difference between our generation and Gen Zs when it comes to financial discipline or career approach?
The definition of dream life is changing every single year. Today, people are going out on social media and saying, I feel poor with 30 lakhs per annum. The ways to spend money have increased. Today, you see there are so many people who have an iPhone. Can all of them afford the iPhone? No. 60-70% of these iPhones are on EMIs. It's not a want anymore, it's a need.
What's a corpus of money in our country that's considered rich? This is not just another financial podcast. You're not just going to get money advice from a finance bro here. That's what I can promise you. This was one of those episodes that taught me a lot. This was a conversation for my own financial skill set. Had an immense amount of fun with my brother Sharan as well. I think you'll sense the energy over the course of this conversation. This particular episode is for people in their late 20s onwards. It's about how to chalk out your financial journey. I definitely think you should consider watching this with your parents as well, because the financial landscape, especially in India, is very, very dynamic currently. There's a lot of newness in the ecosystem, and we're trying to bring you an updated version of modern day personal finance skills. There's a lot you'll learn from this episode. TRS is all about bringing unique perspectives and helping you learn and improve the quality of your life. But just like my brother Sharan, I don't believe that it's just hard work that can improve the quality of your life. Sharan himself has simplified hugely complex financial concepts for millions of Indians. It's never just about hard work. It's much more about smart management. Smart work over hard work. Now, if you're building your own empire, whether you're a creator, an entrepreneur, a freelancer, you know that great ideas are only half the battle won. The other half is all about execution. The need for execution means that you need a system to handle the chaos of daily tasks without burning out. And that's where Odoo Projects steps in. Simply put, Odoo Projects is your digital command center. It's a single tool that lets you plan, track, and collaborate on your tasks so that nothing gets lost. At the Beer Biceps office, we actually use Odoo Projects to keep our workflows going smoothly. We use their Kanban view, which is basically like moving digital sticky notes across a board from one stage to another to track every video we make. We move a card from scripting to shooting and then to editing and finally to upload. It's visual, it's simple, and it ensures that the whole team knows exactly what needs to be done. There's also the Gantt chart that shows all the tasks under the project and shows task dependencies so that we have an idea about who's working on what and for how long. Collaboration is straightforward yet intuitive with the Odoo project. All emails, log notes, and activities like meetings or to-dos are done through chatter within each task. Every communication piece stays organized instead of going about the process through cluttered email chains. Instead of juggling 10 different apps or messy spreadsheets, Odoo lets us chat, share files, and even track the time spent on each edit all in one place. The best part is that your first app is free for life with unlimited hosting and support. Big thanks to Odoo for powering this episode. And for now, let's dive into this modern financial masterclass on money and mindset with my boy Sharan Hegde on TRS. Looking stunning, Mr. Hegde.
Thank you. Thank you.
I feel this is the pop sugar financial advice ultimatum on Indian YouTube. I call it the Gen Z money manual.
Okay. I understood everything except for pop sugar. What is pop sugar?
Pop sugar means it's digestible by everybody.
Okay.
Do I remember when I was 22, finance in general was not a subject I was drawn to. And I started saving only when I was 24-ish because of this reason. That it just seemed intimidating. I'm trying to market to those 22-year-olds as well. We'll go really deep on financial talk.
Yeah.
But this is a very Gen Z oriented episode. I'm pretty sure people our age will also benefit from this.
Yeah.
But we need to talk to the most basic non-financially interested person here as well.
Yeah. I think it's not going to be difficult because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be rich. It's money at the end of the day. So it's going to be fun. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let me just tell you guys that every time my heart breaks, I call up Sharan. And he's a great love guru as well. He smells fantastic. I wish you guys could smell him through the screen. But unfortunately, today you just digest his financial wisdom.
I don't know what to say to that, but thanks for the compliment.
How's life?
Life is good, man. Life is good. Apart from, so I typically look at life in 3 different buckets. I'm a very analytical guy that way. So there's money, health, and relationships. So money and relationships are great, but health is something that I'm trying to focus on. Been facing some, physical pain issues because of too much of podcasting and, nodding my neck all the time.
Oh,
so
that
just
sounds
trying
familiar.
to do some physio on that.
You're literally the personification of money for many people.
Right.
And I believe that the content creator becomes the content.
Right.
I think that the content comes first, then the content creator's personality alters itself.
Right.
So I feel you think about money a lot.
True.
Therefore, lately, in the last 2 to 3 years, what have you learned new about money? Let's begin there.
Okay. You're right. I think it's not just me. I think everybody is constantly thinking about money. But the problem is that they think about money just in one dimension, is like, how do I earn more money? That's the only thing that people think of, which is their salary. But for me, money is maths. It's just mathematics, right? And I'm not talking about your, differentiation and calculus and all of that shit. Simple algebra mathematics. And I look at money as the flow of money into your life and out of your life. Right? Let's break that into 2 parts. What is money into your life? For most people, it's just their salaried income. That's it. But if you've figured out multiple sources of income, you have passive income from your rent, you have passive income from your investments. So that's all the money flowing into your life. Then once it hits your bank account, now we try to figure out how do we keep it as much as possible to ourselves. We're not getting into the growing part right now. We're talking about how do you keep as much of it as possible in your life, right?
But why would it leave in the first place?
Taxes.
Okay.
Right? Once it hits your bank account, you have to pay tax on it, right? So number 1 is that, which everybody is aware of. The second thing is learning how to optimize your expenses. Now, a lot of people don't really look at this carefully. I'm sure 99% of people over here have never even downloaded their bank statements and actually done some analysis on it. But I'm sure for most of them, it's a wreck, right? And most of them don't even know how money is leaving their life. What I say is that if you look at your 3 biggest expenses, which is your rent, your groceries, and your going out, which is what a typical middle class person typically spends money on these days, you can save at least 10 to 20% of that money if you know how to use the right financial tools, right? So that is the second bit of it in terms of how do you save as much money as possible. The third thing is planning for the worst case scenario. which is, okay, you've been earning money for the last 5 years, probably have 10 lakhs saved up, but one bad day in your life can wipe out half of the money. What is this? This is, you get a big medical injury or a medical bill, and you cannot do anything about it. Whatever the hospital gives you, you have to pay. You can't negotiate. You can't do any kind of, come kar do, please don't do this. You can't even say, oh, that is not needed, just do this. You just have to pay whatever they're saying. And medical bills have doubled every 4 years, right? Meaning in the next 20 years, a 1 lakh bill will be 32 lakhs in 20 years from now. And most people just have a company health insurance, which is probably 2 to 5 lakhs. So having a good coverage which protects you, not just you, because you're also responsible for your parents' health, for your kids' health, for your spouse's health. So having a big cover of at least, I would say, 25 to 50 lakhs is really, really important to ensure that whatever you do next actually matters. Because people will keep talking about trading, F&O, mutual fund, stock market, but all of that is pointless if half of your money can leave in a single day. So you protect for that. Next comes, how do you grow that money once it's in your bank account? Now, most people just stick to FD, gold, and probably buy a house, right? But that's mathematically not the right thing to do, right? You can invest in assets. We'll go deeper into it later on. But you can invest into assets which can grow as high as 15 to 25%, depending on how good you are.
25%?
You can get there, right? I will explain how that works. So 15 to 25% every year is the possibility. 15% if you're somebody who's just going to invest and forget. 25% if you're somebody who is going to be an active investor and are constantly monitoring everything and know how to use leverage on top of your savings to grow your money.
What does that mean?
For example, simple example is F&O, right? F&O trading, what do? Right? It's a leverage trade. Like even if you have, let's say, 10,000 rupees, you can get an exposure of 1 lakh rupees.
You're talking about futures and options.
Yes, futures and options, right? Even with 10,000 rupees of capital, you can get an exposure of 1 lakh rupees, right? So if the stock moved by 1%, right, you are actually, on a 10,000 rupees investment, you could make 10,000 rupees profit, right? Because you have a 10x leverage, right? But that's literally on the extreme side, where even your returns can be 36% as well on a year, not per month. So that's the extreme part of it.
Got it.
Where you grow your money, right? So everything which happens in between is how money flows into your life. And I just look at the mathematics in every single aspect of money entering my life and money exiting my life. If you understand the maths of everything and how other financial companies are trying to scam you by pushing you the wrong products, you will be ahead of 99% of people and money will stay with you as much as possible.
How much percentage of humanity has an understanding of what you were saying in the first place?
Wow. I think less than 0.1% people know all these things.
So 99.9% do not understand money according to
And I will even go as far as to say that even a chartered accountant, which most people think is the ultimate degree in finance, they only know one particular topic, which is taxes, right? And finance is so broad, right? You can get into your mutual fund, stock, credit cards, insurance, all of these things, right? So a chartered accountant who has studied for 4 years trying to get that degree is still not capable of learning all of these things because they have a tunnel vision. I'm only going to focus on this. I'm not saying all chartered accountants don't know, but majority of them don't know, right?
Pop sugar time.
Yeah.
Sorry to slow you down, Mr. Hegde. I want to tell you that my way to get financial education is through conversations with you.
Yeah.
And I have maybe like a couple of other friends that I speak to to just brush up my own viewpoint on money. And I do represent that uninterested in money category.
Right.
I'm very financially disciplined. I've saved very well. But that's because I've focused on having these kind of hangout sessions a lot over the years.
Right.
So I want to ask you on behalf of those 22-year-olds and 23-year-olds who want a dream life in the long term, who want a great retirement phase, who want good money, but they're not wholly comfortable with learning about money.
Right.
They're intimidated by everything from what the word FD sounds like to what real estate sounds like. Futures and options is very far off.
Right.
So this is me asking you to talk to people who are not even your audience.
Perfect.
Okay? Talk to yourself at age 22. Knowing you, I would say talk to yourself at age 16.
Okay. So firstly, let me tell you that even I learned by talking to other people who are smarter than me, right? There's only so much you can learn from books and watching a video.
Yeah.
Most of the aha moments that I've learned, like you said, what have you learned in the last 2 years? These are mostly coming from people we are in Mumbai right now, these are mostly coming from people who live in South Bombay, have generational wealth.
Really?
Right? And all the conversations that they have in their family, right from the age of 10, is about money.
Yeah.
Right? And these are mostly Gujaratis. Right? There's a reason why they're good with money. Because they talk about money every single time in the dinner table conversation. That's the default. Right? So most of my learnings come from there. And I'm grateful that, these billionaires and people who have more than 500 crore net worth are, coming to talk to me, and they're willing to share their secrets with me. And they will never talk publicly about most of these things, right? Because they don't want everybody to know that they're rich. Now, coming to the Gen Zs over here who wants to retire forever on a beach in Goa, let's talk about that. So first, let's understand what is a good life, right? See, when I was 22 years old, I was making 27,833 rupees per month. At that point of time, in my head, a good life is me earning 1 lakh rupees a month, which is 12 lakhs a year. And if I could spend 30K per month, it would be a good life. Back then, I was like 1,000 rupees per day. If I can spend, I can go anywhere. And back then, Barbecue Nation was 500 rupees, eat all you want. Like that is the ultimate of, I'm a foodie, right? I love to eat good food.
Which city were you in?
Bangalore.
Okay.
I'm a foodie. Majority of my expense is food. And Barbecue Nation was the ultimate of food for me. Because you can eat anything you want and it's everything, right? So if 500 rupees I go and eat and I'm spending 1,000 rupees a day, that's sorted. And I spend, I'm obviously not going to think of owning an entire house back then. I'll own a 1-bedroom in a 3-bedroom apartment with my friends. And that would be a good life for me. 1 lakh rupees a month. Fast forward to today, which is 8 years later, obviously that's not the case because nobody predicted inflation to be this high in this country. Nobody thought the cost of living would increase this fast. Neither did I, right? And we could actually, and for the first time, I feel we are actually feeling it on a yearly basis. Like when I was young, I didn't really feel from the year 2010 to 2015, my expenses have increased a lot. Like my parents didn't really complain about expenses back then. Now, from 2020 to 2025, everybody is talking about it and everybody is feeling the pain, right? So, what used to work back then is not going to work right now because even if the government is saying inflation is 2-3% for the whole country, they're like, we have brought down the inflation for the country, things are fine right now. But that is for the 60% of the population of this country who are farmers. Even now, 50% of the population are farmers, which is where the vote bank is. Now, for these guys, yes, inflation is controlled at 2 to 3% because most of their living expenses are, what's the price of roti, what's the price of rice, all of that. They don't care what's the price on Swiggy, Zomato. They don't care what's the price of this new movie ticket in PVR Inox. They don't care about Uber, Ola, nothing, right? They don't care about any of those things. But we do, right? So for somebody like me and you, cost has been increasing by at least, according to me, 8 to 10% minimum. And for people who are actually wealthy, people who travel outside regularly, like I think me and you, we go out of the country at least 2 to 3 times a year. For people like us, I would say the inflation has been 15% even. This is based on my own expenses which I've seen, which has risen. So if this is the reality of the country right now, the definition of dream life is changing every single year. Like I really don't know what to consider as dream life anymore. Today we are reading stories on social media of people earning 30 lakhs per annum, which is, for me, that was life is set kind of income. Like that's why everybody prepares so hard for getting into IIM, right? And I really wanted to get into it as well. 25 lakhs per annum, I'm like, wow, I don't want anything else in life. I am sorted. I can travel whenever I want, how many times I want. But today people are going out on social media and saying, I feel poor with 25 lakhs per annum and 30 lakhs per annum. So trying to get to the answer of that question, what is a dream life, is itself become very challenging. And this number, according to me right now, in terms of how much you can spend and how much you need to spend to consider that your life is really, really set, I would, and assuming you're a single guy, not married with kids and all of that, I would say anywhere between 1.5 lakh to 2 lakhs per month. 1.5 to 2 lakhs per month of spending is needed to feel like you are rich in this country right now. Just 24 lakhs you're spending.
What do people spend on?
Main is obviously the rent, right?
Like a nice house,
Yeah.
nice experience.
And I'll tell you the problem with that. The problem with that is we are all forced to live in the top 3 cities. Mumbai, Bangalore and Delhi. because this is where the jobs are, right? And the rent over here is extremely high, right? If you look at a multiplier of salary to rent ratio, or let's say salary to house value ratio, because the rent increases if the house value increases. Now, the real estate prices have gone up a lot. Why has it gone out? It's going to geek out the audience right now, but let's just say it has gone up a lot. Now, because of that, the landlords are asking more and more rent, right? Now, if you look at the rent, if you look at the house value as a multiplier of my income, in a country like India, let's say I'm working in Bangalore, I'm an IT guy, just to keep it very, very simple, and I make, let's say, 12 lakhs a year. I'm 27, 28, I'm making 12 lakhs a year, just to keep it at an average level. It is slightly higher than the average, but let me just take the best case scenario. Now, the average price of a house would be about 2 crores in a place like Bangalore. Forget Mumbai. Right? Mumbai, 2 crores means you're in, I don't know, Navi Mumbai. But in an average price of a house in Bangalore would be 2 crores for a 3 BHK house. Now, if I'm making 10 lakhs a year, and if the house value is 2 crores, that is 20 times my annual income. That is not the case in other countries. For example, let's take Dubai, for example. An average price of a house in Dubai for a 2-bedroom would be about 3.5 to 4 crores there. But the income is also way, way higher, right? The income over there, people over there on an average, a good person, good income person, would be making about 20,000 dirhams a month, which is about 200,000 dirhams a year, about 50 lakhs a year. 40 to 50 lakhs a year is the income. So if I do that multiplier, it is just 6 times their annual income versus an Indian, which is 20 times their annual income. So rent is the biggest expense for most people, and you can't even do anything about it.
You know, I do believe it's the responsibility of content creators and or media professionals to talk about this. But as urban Indians, especially, we don't question a lot of things. So on a surface level, AQI. On a not so surface level, exactly what you're talking about.
Right.
What do you call it? Rent to income ratio. It's not the same as what it is abroad.
It is not.
And I love everything about my culture, but urban Indians do not have an easy existence.
I agree.
It's just that we are flowing through it without questioning anything.
Right. No, we can't do anything also, right? Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
Like you said, the air quality is bad. Like, I just flew in from Dubai today. I was there for almost 7 days. And while I was there, all I'm reading about is Delhi pollution is bad, AQI is 500, 600. Food Farmer just put a video of 10 different air purifiers, what is best. I watched that video. And as I'm flying in Mumbai, I'm like, bro, did I just enter Delhi or did I enter Mumbai?
It's as bad here.
It's really bad. I'm like, I was just staring out your balcony.
Yeah.
I can't even see the sea. Last time I came here, I could see the sea.
Yeah.
I can't see shit right now.
It only clears up in the monsoon.
Exactly, right? And I am fortunate because I live in Juhu, surrounded by trees.
Yeah.
But that's not the case for everybody who are living in probably Andheri, South Bombay. It's very bad, the pollution.
It's also little things like when I'm sitting in my car, I know I'm losing an hour of my day minimum if I'm in Mumbai. And at night, the distance between my house and your house takes about 5 minutes to cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An hour?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of all the construction that's
It's
going
like
on.
2 kilometers.
Yeah. It's like I really want Gen Zs to not just focus on concerts
Yeah.
and these kind of show-off social media experiences, but
Yeah.
question things around you.
Yeah.
And if you can.
You asked me where the money is going. This is also one of them, the concerts.
Really?
Right. Every month I go on, let's say, at least one concert.
How
Right?
much is a concert ticket
Like
cost?
5,000 rupees it'll cost.
5,000.
5,000 rupees minimum.
Which is a lot in the world of
And that is
events.
not even a VIP ticket. When we mean VIP, they don't mean table. It just mean you get to stand in front and see the artist from front. You don't get a table for yourself where there's a butler coming and serving you drinks. But that VIP ticket where you actually get to see the artist in front, which is what most Gen Zs will want to do, because otherwise how will the pictures look good, right? Right? They want to be in front as possible. That will be like 10,000-15,000 rupees for a ticket. And they're spending it easily. Nothing. That is not something that I would have spent 10 years back. That's a new need that has come in 2025. Because the number of concerts have increased in India.
Help me with the math on this.
Right.
I think it's extremely crucial for urban Indians, anyone who's working in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, at least,
Yeah.
to visit one foreign country soon in their
I
life.
agree. I agree.
Soon. Soon is the key word because it gives you perspective.
Don't even go too far. Just go to the Habibi land and China. That's it. Just go
China?
to these 2 countries.
Yeah.
Right? You will see that just 2 hours, 3 hours away from our country, the world is very different.
Yes.
Right?
That is key.
Yeah.
and change your perspective. Learn to question the life you are given in urban India. And again, not blaming anyone here, but it's just the outcome of where we live.
It is
Like,
what it is.
I've not met a single person my age who doesn't talk about the idea of leaving, either to the hills / Goa
Yeah.
or to
I think
Dubai
there's
or
always
Singapore.
two crowds over here. One is people who are like thinking about leaving the country. Another one who are like anti-national. They're like, if you do that, you're an anti-national. So they're bringing patriotism to sort of support the fact that it's okay to live in an unhealthy environment, right? So I recently saw a reel recently on my feed. I think Luke Coutinho, who keeps coming here a lot, right? He mentioned that he's cautioning people against having babies right now.
Wow.
That's what he said. And I was shocked when he's making a statement like that. And he's like people our age who are already grown up and already have some kind of immunity, we are the ones already facing problems. Imagine if a baby is going to be born in this kind of an environment, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Right? And it's just going to increase your expenses, right? Because you're going to have to pay for all of those things, right? Because a baby which is born in a bad environment, it's just going to have more and more health issues. So I was shocked to see a video like that.
Yeah.
I never thought I would see a video where a doctor is saying don't have babies in India.
Unfortunately, there's no solution to all these
I
issues.
think the solution is hard. It's as simple as, see, with money, anything is possible. Like you and I, if we wanted to, we could just pack up our bags and move to Bali right now, in the next flight, and set up base over there. Like these sort of videos keep coming on me because Instagram has figured out that this guy wants to leave the country. Like, because I'm just watching Bali and Dubai videos a lot. It's not like I told Instagram, hey, I want to leave. But the algorithm understands it, right? Like they start showing me Bali a lot. And I'm sure it's common for all of us.
Yeah.
Bali is very popular in our feeds right now. I'm seeing houses in Bali. There, obviously, you can't own a house. It's sold for 25-year lease. Right, okay. 25-year lease. You're getting a mansion. 4-bedroom mansion with a swimming pool, surrounded by nature, forest, all of that, for about $100K. So what, 80, 90 lakhs.
Wow. For 25 years.
For 25 years. Right. We could do that right now, right? So if you have money, all of these things are possible. But it is not practical, and people will just feel bad that they can't do it for themselves. And everybody who has money will do it, right? Recently, there is a news of Lakshmi Mittal, who he's a billionaire, right? So he's a steel tycoon. He was living in
UK.
In the UK. He has left UK and now migrated to UAE, right? So a record number of millionaires are leaving developed countries where there is high taxes and moving to countries which have low or zero taxes. So that is already happening.
Okay. Again, let's slow down a bit. Firstly, want to talk about this brain drain problem.
Yeah.
Because I didn't leave India because of the brain drain problem.
Okay.
I didn't give my GRE and didn't go for my master's abroad thinking that no, I need to be here and build something for the country.
Right.
I feel in the last 10 years, I've added value to my nation.
For sure.
Okay. Now I have reached a point where I've interacted with the foreign minister of the country. And on this podcast, he has said that, hey, stop criticizing this brain drain thing. It's not a thing because we need Indians abroad.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Pump money back into the country, help with soft power.
Right.
It's almost like a responsibility of urban Indians who can speak English to probably build global businesses.
Yeah.
It's more likely to build a successful global business when we have a base abroad.
Right.
Let's park that thought. Secondly, let's address these Gen Zs all over India right now.
Okay.
Again, for that age 22 bracket. Assume that they don't want to leave.
Okay.
Now what?
So firstly, I think there are two kinds of Gen Zs. One is a Gen Z who are born in a condition similar to ours, where they could not just ask mom and dad for $1 lakh and invest it in the market, right? So, which is the category that we belong to. So the thing is, to learn how to grow your money, you need to put some money to start growing it. Now you're 21, 22, you have 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. So that's not much you can do with that. But so if you are a Gen Z who already belongs to an upper middle class upbringing and you are comfortable asking your parents for $1 lakh, that's a good starting point, because I know a lot of Gen Zs. So I go to a gym in Juhu. It's called I Think Fitness. So a lot of Gen Zs over there, like 22, 25-year-old. And they all come to me like, bro, Sharan, I invested in this, I invested in silver, I made this much money, I invested in crypto, I made so much money, right? And I'm like, wow, man, this is really good. And so one guy borrowed 50,000 rupees from his dad, invested in silver and Bitcoin. He's just experimenting and, trying to learn about how these things work. He made about 2 lakh rupees, returned the money back to his parents, 50,000 rupees. Now he's sitting on 1.5 lakh rupees and is learning slowly how to grow that money. Parents are proud. They're like, my son has returned the money back to me and now he's growing it by himself. And in that process, he's learning about it. Because the learning thing about growing money comes when you have money.
Can we go one level deeper? What were the character traits in this particular guy? How did he figure out how to take that 50K to 1.5 lakhs?
So character traits are very simple. It's a hunger to be financially free, right? Like people realize that just being born in a rich family doesn't mean you're rich, right? Like a lot of poor people, they are envious that, oh, this guy was born in a rich family, why should we empathize with him? But I've realized that people who are born in rich families are not really happy that they're born rich because they still have to ask permission for everything. Like, yes, they could ask 10,000, 20,000 rupees from their dad, but if they have to buy a 2 lakh rupees sneakers, dad is not going to pay for that shit, right? It has to come from themselves. So these guys realized that there is money in the family. Second, their parents are rich. Because they're rich, they're learning a lot of lessons from their parents on how to become rich. Learn from somebody who's already become rich, right? So, and most of these guys belong to business families. Business family, by default, there is a very good understanding of money. Because if you're not good with personal finance, you will never be good in business. Impossible. Because in business, if you do not understand how the flow of money works, you will be bankrupt, right? Like 9 out of 10 businesses fail because they don't know how to manage money. Not because the product was bad, not because the marketing is bad, not because, the whatever, right? None of those things. 9 out of 10 times is because financial intelligence is bad. So anybody who has been doing a family business for more than 5-10 years, they understand how money works really, really well. So that lessons are passed on to their kids right from the age of 10. They're not talking about fixed deposits and all, right? When they start earning their first income. They've already tried their hand on multiple asset classes. They already know what are things like PMS, AIF. They already have heard of all of these things, right? So they're really good at it.
Caveat here is that as intimidating as all this shit sounds, it's way easier than you're thinking.
Yeah.
It's way easier than you're thinking.
Yeah.
You need a bunch of financial bros, for lack of a better word, to just take you through what these terms mean.
Yeah. Basically, it's just a mutual fund for rich people. It's essentially that. So basically, being born into a upper middle class family does half the job in terms of understanding what to do next. But that doesn't mean that if you're born in a middle class or a lower middle class background, your life is gone, right? It doesn't mean that. In fact, most of the billionaires who become billionaires are self-made billionaires, right? They were not handed over money from their parents. They did it by themselves. And that is because you're born with that inbuilt hunger, right? Because your back is against the wall, failing is not an option. Because if you fail, there's no food on the table, right? So that inherently makes people want to increase their income, which is the first thing you need to do. So if you are a Gen Z person born today, and if you're like, okay, I don't want to leave India, I want to stay here itself, and I want to be rich, the number one thing to do is to increase your sources of income. Most people will have one source of income. Try to have multiple sources of income. Now here, people will get greedy. Immediately, they'll start doing trading. They'll start taking leverage because they're like, I only have 10,000 rupees. I need to become a crorepati. I'm not going to be a crorepati by making 10-15% return. I need to get 50% returns. How do I make 50% returns? I need to take leverage. So that's where they make a lot of mistakes. Second thing is that they will only go behind increasing their salary, right? Now that is a losing game because just increasing your salary is not going to make you rich. Because at best you can increase it by, let's say, 10% every year, which is also very hard today, right? If you're a stellar performer, you probably increase it by 20% every year. But if you are starting from a starting salary of 30K per month, 40K per month, you're never going to be rich, right? It's going to take you years and years, right? So first thing I would say is figure out alternate sources of income. Now, alternate sources of income, some people would call it moonlighting, but I would say try to join a company where moonlighting is not fully encouraged, but acceptable, right? And I encourage that in my company as well. A lot of people who are working in my company, like especially in the content team, They got so good at it, they started doing some freelance gigs. And eventually you're like, okay, Sharan, I can, consult you. Like they come to me and like, Sharan, I have so many clients now. I want to quit my job and happy to help you whenever you need. I can be your freelancer client instead of working for you full time. I'm like, great, that's fantastic. You figured out how to generate money by yourself. You're not dependent on me to give you a salary. That's also a good thing. The third thing is try to, once you do that, try to get more clients, right? So for that, you need to market yourself well, create good content out there. So there is one story of a guy who worked for me. He was my chief editor, worked with me for 3 years, then started creating his own content. Today he has 200,000 followers and he has 10 clients. He's probably 24 years old and making 10 lakhs a month.
I'm trying to think of the human aspect of all this.
Yeah.
The one thing that my career has taught me is that not everyone is cut from this particular kind of cloth.
Yes, most people can't do this. I'm not saying this is easy. I told you it's hard when I told you.
I think it's like maybe 10% of people have the fire required to do.
Less.
Five. 1%.
I have 200 employees right now. Only one person has been able to do it until now. That's 0.5%.
Because there's a big mental health trade-off.
Yes,
in this.
It is. And you can also lose it, right? Like the reason he was able to do it, because he's young. He's like, even if I lose all my money, it's okay. Because I can always get a job later. But if you're already 30, 35 and all, then it might be difficult to do this.
What's the easy alternative to this?
Easy alternate is there's no easy alternate to becoming rich, right? It's very simple. It's math. Figure out more ways to attract money to yourself. The way you attract money to yourself is you're solving a problem. The more problems you solve, the more money you attract to your life. If you're just solving one problem in a company, you're just a nut and a bolt. You're just going to get paid as a nut and a bolt. If you're solving multiple problems in a company, you will get noticed quickly. Like for example, in my company, there is a 24-year-old guy who is now head of an entire team. Like 15 people report to him. Now why? Because he is solving problems even before I knew it existed. Right? So once they start doing that, and there are not a lot of people who do that, this I would say is something that even 10% of people can do. Wherever you're working, try to pick up problems which were not given to you. A lot of people wait for things to be handed over to them. Don't do that. If you start solving problems before anybody told you to solve it, you will 100% get noticed. 1000%. Impossible to not get noticed.
Say, and if that makes your salary swell up very quickly.
You can probably ask for a 50% hike also. And that has happened. I've given that. And I have no option but to give them because they're so critical to my operations. And I know that if they leave, I will lose probably 2 hours a day trying to do that. Now, I value my time the most. If somebody is somebody can save 2 hours of my life every day, I'm ready to pay him whatever he asks for. Because it's a lot of time. But if somebody is doing things which I can just get another person to do it. See, if you're only doing ad hoc work, if you're only doing things which are given to you, you can be easily replaced. Right? So you can't really come to me asking for anything more than a 10% hike. I'm not going to give it to you because I can easily replace you. Right? That's how the world works. But if you are doing things which is managing 4 or 5 people, solving problems so that it doesn't come on my plate, then you can ask me for whatever you want because that is something that my responsibility. Like as a founder, I am supposed to solve problems. But if you're going to take away some of my problems and do it, you can ask me for a 20%, 30%, 40% hike also. And that's happened.
Become irreplaceable.
Yeah. So right now in my company, there are about 10 people who fit into that category out of 200 people. So it's 5% of people.
5%.
Yeah.
Again, this is also kind of difficult. Probably the only easy thing one can do is minimize their lifestyle.
See, that is easier said than done. Right? Like it's easy to say, live in a PG. Like that if I go to the extreme, you can live in any part of India for 10,000 rupees a month. You can still do that. Yeah, I could live in a PG. I could eat the food that the PG only gives, which might not be nutritious in value. All vegetarian food, which I'm a non-vegetarian. I like non-veg. I could just sit at home during weekends, not meet my friends. I could take the bus to office, change 2 to 3 different buses when I go there. I could probably not change my outfits every year, like wear the same thing, only have 3 outfits for 5 years, which is how our grandparents used to live. You can still do that. But can you do it? You can't do it.
Very subjective and personality.
I just saw your wardrobe, right? You can't do it, right?
Yeah. No,
it's
I
not
think
possible.
We are currently immersed in the world of glamour. So,
Exactly, and it's like the ways to spend money have increased. Earlier it was a want, now it's a need.
yeah. Say someone who's 24,
Okay.
couple of years into their professional life.
Okay.
What have you usually noticed is the amount they're able to save in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai? 5k rupees? 6K
What is their
rupees?
income? 24 years old. That it starts with that.
40, 50k?
40, 50k per month, they're probably saving nothing. Because they are spending it, like whatever is left, like let's say their rent is 15k, right? And they're spending 10k on groceries plus the maid who comes and cleans their house. So that's what, 25k. Then they will probably use Uber to come to the office or rickshaws. That's probably another, I don't know, 5k, 5 to 6k. So that's 30 gone. 20 is left. Then every weekend they'll have to go out, obviously. So every time they go out, minimum they'll spend 1,000. So let's say another 5,000 gone. 15,000 rupees is left. Now these last 15,000 rupees is, they're not, until now we only spoke about the wants, right? Sorry, the needs, which is rent, travel and all of that. Now every month person will want something as a want. Now where will these wants come from? Social media. If I see Ranveer going to Australia and chilling, I'll be like, bro, I'll at least need to go to Goa, right? If I see that Sharan has bought a BMW or a Mercedes, I'm like, I'll at least need to get a car, which is like an i10 or something like that. If I see that my friend has got the new iPhone 17, I will need to at least upgrade my phone and get something. So all of these guys will have an EMI running because of these wants. These wants are really expensive. They can't buy it outright, right? But they want it really, really bad. They want to go on vacations. They want expensive gadgets. Today, you see there are so many people who have an iPhone. Can all of them afford the iPhone? No. 60-70% of these iPhones are on EMIs. Why? Because it's not a want anymore, it's a need. So each of these guys will have at least another 5,000 to 10,000 rupees per month going into these EMIs. So what's left is 5,000 rupees at best.
So on a human level, either you go into hyper attack mode and figure out your own fire to be able to increase your income,
Right.
or increase your value at the workplace.
Right.
That's your option. If you're young,
If you're somebody earning 50k per month, I would say don't bother learning about money. Just learn how to increase your income. That's it. Income could be either
solve
in your...
one problem at a time.
Yeah, either you increase your salary or figure out how to get another source of income by being a freelancer. There is nothing else that you can do to become rich, right? Because even if you are saving 5,000 rupees a month, it's not going to change your life. Yes, you could start it off as a discipline, right? You can start it off to basically understand how investing works so that in the future, when you're actually making money, you actually know what to do with it. I'll give you my example. So when I was making 27,000 rupees a month, I was still able to save up to 10,000 rupees a month. The reason for that is I was staying in a 3-bedroom house with 2 of my friends. I took the smallest room with no balcony, no AC, no attached bathroom, nothing. So I negotiated my rent to 8,000 rupees a month with those guys. They paid the higher rent. Then I did not go out every week like my friends used to go. They worked in tech, right? So one guy was making 75,000 rupees a month, another guy was loaded. So they could go out every month. They had girlfriends. They would spend 2,000-3,000 rupees every month. I could not do that. I used to probably, my guilty pleasures were ordering from Swiggy. Like when I'm tired of eating home cooked food, because eventually you get bored, I'm like, once a week, let's order something. And when you order something, you don't order a la carte. You order a combo, which have 3-4 different things. For maybe 200 rupees, you get a combo from Meghna Biryani or from, which is popular in Bangalore, or from whatever, right? Those will be the days. Then you go out maybe once a month, but you don't go to places where there is entry charge. Cover charge is still fine. You get exchange it with the alcohol and food. Some places which are really, really popular will be like entry ke liye, if you're a stag, you have to pay 5,000 rupees. You don't enter those places. But that's where all the women are. So people want to go there only.
Big hate to the guys who stand at the entrance of those places from my teenage self. Go on.
Yeah, women get free entry, so guys want to go there only. That's the game, right? So you don't do that, right? So you go to normal places and you don't spend more than 500 rupees every time you go out. You will not purchase expensive electronic items. You will not upgrade your wardrobe. None of that shit. So if you do that, you're able to save 10,000 rupees a month, right? And 10,000 rupees a month in a year, you will have a lakh. And if you're invested well, it could be 1.5 lakh also. So that's what I did in the beginning. But I was super obsessed with my work. And I was parallelly preparing for my GMAT exam. Because I knew that even if I was working at KPMG, even if 30K per month, if I get a promotion, it'll be 50K per month. I'm not going to change my life. I'm not going to be rich. I need to start making 2 lakhs a month. The only way to do that if you're living in India is to get into an MBA college. There's no other way. But I figured out something. I figured out that if you are able to switch your job at the right time, then you can ask for the moon, right? Like for example, let us say you worked really hard. You worked for 2 years. You're up for promotion. You get that promotion. Let's say you got a 20% hike, 25% hike. And then maybe 2-3 months later, a headhunter reached out to me from PwC. Now, PwC and KPMG are competitors, right? Now, they don't want their employees to leave. So, KPMG tried to retain me. PwC wanted me. But PwC eventually ended up paying me a lakh a month. So, from 30, 40K per month, I went to a lakh a month. Same job, different companies. So, sometimes what happens is, if you're working really hard and if you are not valued in your organization, you know your worth. You need to know what your worth is. That's the most important thing. Most people don't know how much they deserve. And most people just accept whatever is given to them because they don't know what's their market value. I knew my market value. I knew that this is how much I'm worth.
How did you know your market value?
It's by doing research and talking to people. Like, for example, in my same company, there was another guy who graduated from BITS Pilani. And we both joined as analyst. My annual CTC was 4.5 lakhs per annum. He was at 8 lakhs per annum. I'm like, I knew it, right? Like, he's at double and I'm at half. We're doing the same thing. So obviously, I need to be paid as much as him. So I knew what my value was. I just worked really, really hard. Got stellar reviews from my partners who I worked with. And because of that, my confidence increased. Secondly, I worked with very smart people. The people that I was working with are IIM graduates. So I knew exactly how to speak, how to solve problems, how to present yourself well. When an interviewer is asking something, how do you sort of make yourself invaluable to them? So all of that training I got. Because of that, I was able to switch and get a very high income. So then my income went to 1 lakh a month. Right? And then I did really well in PwC and my last drawing salary was about 1.2, 1.3 lakhs a month. This was 6 years back when I was 25 years old, just before I started content. So that was, and then it was also during lockdown. Lockdown happened, I'm at home, no rent, no food expense. Now all of a sudden I'm saving 1 lakh a month. So that's what helped me. So that's another hack. If you can, try to live with your parents until you are making 1.5, 2 lakhs a month. That's a big life hack. A lot of people don't want to do it because there's no privacy. But if you are able to just force yourself to do that for 5 years, like recently, I met a physiotherapist. So I told you, I have neck pain. I visit a physio. So I met him. He's like 32 years old. And he's also very much interested in finance. And at the end of the session, he's like, Sharan, tell me how to invest my money. Between me and my wife, we have saved 1.2 crore rupees. I'm like, wow, you're a crorepati at 32. How did that happen? He's like, I just stay with my parents, right? We are saving 1 lakh a month, maybe sometimes more, every single month and compounding slowly. And we have been able to save this much money. Nothing. He didn't do anything fancy. He didn't even pick a single stock. Mutual funds. That's it. And he rode the wave in the last 5 years when the boom happened post-COVID. He's a crorepati at 32. So just by living with his parents.
Allows you to focus on the attacking game.
Yeah, because the base is really important. Try to build that foundation quickly. Because see, at the age of 30, if he's a crorepati, now his portfolio alone is generating 1 lakh a month. Okay. So he's sort of like having a second income now.
I have one more life question for you.
Okay.
So there's a concept called game taping from the world of sports where you watch your own replays and you figure out what you did right and wrong.
Okay.
So game tape your career until now.
Okay. My career.
Yeah. On a human level, not specifics about what moves you made, just what was your mentality and how did you move forward in the so-called race. I'll give you a game taping on you.
Okay, please.
From the first time I met you at Dubai.
Yes.
Just the same hunger was present then, the same hunger is present now.
Right.
That's the commonality. Like that you're absolutely not.
I still remember what you told me that time. I had just started creating content 6 months back. And you met me and you're like, Sharan, you're not a finance expert. You're a storyteller.
Did I?
You told me this.
I
You're
don't
a
remember this,
storyteller.
bro.
Yeah, I remember that line very well. You're a storyteller. Remember that. That's what makes you stand out.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You're a media guy.
Yeah.
Like in my eyes. You're definitely, like, I turn to you for my financial
Yeah.
advice. But in media, growth happens because of media skills. But on a very human level, just too much hunger present then, too much hunger present now.
Yeah.
Obviously, what's common is childhood issues.
Right.
Same as me,
Right.
same as every other hungry person.
Right.
Hunger is an outcome of childhood
Success.
trauma.
Yeah. I agree. That's true.
Taking nothing away from the beautiful mentality our parents gave us.
Right.
This is not a thing on parents. Childhood trauma can happen through students who studied with you, life experiences, etc., etc.
True.
But on a human level, you just had too much hunger. And the reason I highlight hunger so much is because I see hunger fading away a lot with people in our age group. Almost 99% of people in our age group, I see hunger having fully faded away.
Why do you think so? Hunger has faded away.
Yeah. Whatever little hunger was also has faded away. 99% of the people I see. Then obviously we go and choose hustlers.
Yeah.
We hang out with other content creators to
Yeah.
seek out other people who have hunger because that hunger rubs off on you.
Correct.
But mostly it's faded away, man. I think people deprioritize money. People deprioritize growth. People simplify their lives. I see this a lot. It's at least lots and lots and lots of people around me. Lots of people dealing with quarter life crisis, existential crisis. But this is not a mental health episode. Or is it?
I didn't really know this. I didn't really think people have lost their hunger because I feel like there is no end point, right? Like you said that you still see the hunger which you saw in me 5 years back, even today.
Yeah, you're the same guy.
Because there is no such thing as an end point. Like a lot of people think if I have this much money and then I've achieved a certain thing in my life and now I can rest and relax easy. I don't think it works that way. I think if you have that kind of mindset, you will not be able to succeed. If you're looking at the goal post and thinking, okay, I need to reach there.
Define the mindset needed.
I think the mindset is just it's gonna sound very philosophical and very simplistic, but I think this has been my motto in life whenever I'm doing anything, is to just figure out a better way of living my life in every aspect.
Like lifestyle?
Everything. Like whether it's money, health, relationships, just figure out a better way to do it. Because a lot of people are narrow-minded and we think that whatever we are doing is the right way, or whatever our parents taught us is the only way. And we are not open to learning from other people who are different from us. Now, I am somebody who has probably changed my personality, changed my way of thinking at least 3 to 4 times in the last 5 years. I would not say completely changed, constantly evolving. And that is because I have the privilege of meeting people who are better than me in certain aspects of life. Like with respect to money, it's very simple. You just meet people who are richer than you. That's simple. As simple as that. You need to be close friends with somebody who is at least 2 to 3 steps ahead of you. For example, if you are making, let's say 50,000 rupees a month, you definitely need to have a friend who is making 5 lakh a month. If you don't have that person in your life, it is going to be very difficult for you to achieve that point. Because they will unlock those things for you. Because they've been where you are. So they will tell you exactly what needs to be done. It's not going to be in an easy way, but it is going to be a tried and tested method, which could apply in your life as well. Right? So the first thing is to surround yourself with people who are in places where you want to be. Now, people might think of this as, okay, this is a rat race where you're never going to be happy. I would not say it that way. I would say for you to reach that point in life where you want to achieve, let's say I'm making 1 lakh a month, I need to reach a point where I'm 5 lakh a month. What people don't realize, for you to achieve that 5 lakh a month, you need to change as a person yourself first. The same version of you is not going to be able to achieve 5 lakh a month. You need to develop some skills in you, which will make you a better person and your life improves because of it. So I feel for me to go to the next step, let's say, for example, I'm making 1 crore a month, for example, and I need to make 10 crores a month. if I reach that point, I'm not going to be the same version I am today. Right? So that mindset is about being hungry to learn those skills from people who are ahead of you. And there is so much to learn. Every time I meet people, I get FOMO. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is so smart. So many things he's figured out. So many cool things which I did not even know that the world has. And these are not things that you can Google. These are not things that you can get on a YouTube video. These are things which are like life skills, life's lessons from other people who've done there and been there before you. So sort of like having a mentor. I would not say mentor like you can call them every week to do to give you some advice. Not that. It could be like 20 to 30 different people that you meet in a year, and you get those learnings from different people. You have interesting conversations with them, and from that conversation, you think about it in the night. And the next things that you do in life are going to be rubbed off based on those things that you learned.
Yeah, people often associate the word creativity with a creative profession. But the truth is, to actually move forward in life, you need a combination of skill sets and creativity. Skill sets will come out of your own hustle. The creativity comes out of these meetings. Because you are getting nuggets from everyone.
Right.
Then it forms something in your head. Then you figure a pathway forward. Strategy is creativity.
Correct. So basically, I would categorize it as, yes, the experimentation part of your day-to-day life. How many of y'all are actually experimenting every day, doing new things? We are all following a routine, the same routine, which is not even set by somebody else. Okay, are you dedicating at least a couple of hours a day, doing something different, something new?
This is not a Gen Z preaching session. Okay.
Yeah.
But as millennials,
Yeah.
you're 95, I'm 93.
Right.
Do you see a difference between our generation and Gen Zs when it comes to financial discipline or career approach? It could be good, it could be bad, whatever. Just very objective.
I think everybody at the end of the day wants the same thing. They want to be content in their life. Now, contentment will definitely come from money. Now, Gen Zs have figured out that doing what millennials are doing, which is being okay with a 9-to-5 job, being okay with a 5% increment, being okay with the boss shouting at you, they're like, I'm not going to do that shit. Like millennials are okay with it. I'm not going to be okay with it. Being in the office 9 a.m. That's not a way to live life for them. That's like, okay, this is looking like a jail right now. Like, I do not want to report at a specific place at the exact same time every single day, right? You might call it discipline. I will call it as slavery. For them, it's like, if I get the job done, that's enough. Why am I supposed to be in the office at a particular point in time, right? So I would say that's good only, right? They're an evolved way of thinking, right? And I agree with that. Like, even in our office right now, most of them are Gen Zs. I don't have any specific timings. I don't tell them to be in the office at 10 a.m. every morning. Heck, even 11 a.m. people don't show up. People come up in 12:30. Some people will come after lunch. But at the same time, there are some people who leave at 10:30, at 11 o'clock, right? So they are just created a life for themselves, which is very fungible and flexible, right? They know what they're doing. They know that
Subjective systems.
Right. And they still get the job done, right? It's not like they're slacking. It's not like they're doing a subpar job. Because at the end of the day, everybody has the desire to matter in life. Everybody wants to feel like they're doing something meaningful. Nobody wants to be called a bum who just stays at home and does nothing. Nobody, even Gen Z, Gen Alpha, nobody wants to be thought that way. Everybody wants to feel like the society respects me.
I've worked with lots of millennials, lots of Gen Zs. The one stark difference I see is that the millennials are a little more okay with dry, boring work in the long term to get to that goal of money.
Yeah.
The Gen Zs need to be kept entertained on an average.
Which is good, na? Because they will figure out better ways of doing it. Because they don't want to do the boring way. So they'll figure out a new way of doing it.
Yeah.
Which is good because they'll make it more efficient.
On a human and life perspective, I feel the millennials are okay with a slightly more minimal life. I think Gen Zs want to spend on the quality of their life.
Yeah, I mean, that's with every generation. No? Every generation grew up, like the further back you go in our ancestry, the simpler they were. Like as we evolve and become more, as we are born more and more into the future, there will be other needs of life, which become very, very important to us.
I feel because of social media, even though these two generations are so close, the mentalities, lifestyles are very different.
I would say yes, because social media has accelerated things and it has made everything very visible and transparent and open. So we are all seeing each other's lives. It wasn't the case before.
I feel Gen Zs feel a lot more FOMO than we felt.
True, because of social media. Yeah.
Like, we didn't feel so much FOMO. Like, yeah, it was there. Obviously, you wanted a better lifestyle.
Yeah.
But, like, it wasn't this whole thing about, oh, which concert is happening on this weekend?
Yeah.
Why do I not have tickets?
Yeah.
It's a lot more about, like, flexing. That's become a bigger thing now.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's
I think flexing has always been the need of every human being. India more so. Like, what else is a big fat Indian wedding? That's not new. That has always been the case.
Would you spend on your own wedding?
I mean, I have kept a budget of not more than 20 to 30 lakhs. What?
That's it, son.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's
not more
what
than 20 to 30 lakhs. But I don't know if I am the only decision maker. So that's the problem.
That's it, son.
Yeah. If I were the decision maker, 20 to 30 lakhs. But if there is another person, obviously will be involved in the decision making. So I don't know. It can go to any number. But I would be, if I'm the decision maker, 20 to 30 lakhs.
If we were both attracted to men, I'd be very happy to have a relationship with you. Unfortunately, we're not.
Then we save our money also.
Yeah.
We split the bills also.
Yeah. Then it's just a 10 lakhs.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd come to a conclusion of just doing a court marriage and signing papers on the right muhurat.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then spend the money somewhere else.
Yeah.
In the business.
Yeah. I wonder if it's wise for a two-man couple to start a business together.
I think we've entered the Bakchodi the podcast. I think we've entered that phase. Can you repeat that question, please? Two men to start a?
Like, if there's a gay couple that exists,
Okay.
is it wise to start a business together? I've learned not to start businesses with your friends and or family.
Yes, I think both. I've never started a business with a friend. Usually, they start off as strangers and then you become business friends, which is the best thing.
Yeah.
But starting a business with an old friend I've never experienced that, so I don't know. But starting a business with the family is the most riskiest thing you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because you will risk hurting each other more. If you just have a familial relationship, you will have the normal fights. But if you have a business relationship with your family, you will have more fights. Because business is more volatile and more dynamic than a normal family relationship. And there will be a lot of blame games which happen, and it's inevitable. And then the lines start blurring. So that's the most trickiest thing to do, I would say. So there are obviously a lot of people who become power couples by starting a business together. But I don't know if I want to venture down that journey.
To do a final kind of touch on that last section we had about your game taping. Can you talk about the ugly side of the last 10 years? Because this is the trade-off. While we talk about, hey, do this, then we say that only 1% people are capable, maybe only 5% people are capable. That happens because the 95% realizes that, oh shit, this is going to be an ugly reality.
Right. I would say one of the trade-off was obviously not focusing on relationships. I thought relationships is not an important aspect of life.
Like
love? Love and even family. Like I didn't really give time to them.
Yeah.
Right. Like I as a 22-year-old kid, for me, money was everything. Like I didn't really think you need to focus on your family and finding a good partner, which I felt is, which I now feel was equally important. I would not say more. I would not go to that extent. I would say money and love are equally important. But
what made you realize that?
Life starts feeling empty, you know. Like I was thinking, okay, once I make 10 lakhs a month, I'll be the happiest person ever. Sorry, that number was 1 lakh a month first. Then I reached that 1 lakh a month. And then I became an influencer. Then it became 10 lakhs a month, like within a few months. Then after that, it didn't fulfill my life. Then eventually it became 1 crore a month. Then now it's $1 million a month. But if I did not have a good partner in my life, I would feel like I would be less happier than I am right now. And probably not even happy. Because like I said, the game of money, there's no end. You get used to something quickly. Like achieving that 1 lakh a month and achieving that 1 crore a month or 10 crores a month, you get used to both of them very quickly. Probably 2-3 months, you're like, wow, I'm the king of the world. I'm so happy. And I don't need anything else in life. I've made it in life. The whole world is my kingdom, like that. And then you start feeling that emptiness. You're like, what's next? 100 crores a month? That's not really exciting. Like, then you know that the game is not ending.
In our country, what point does the lifestyle become almost uniform?
I think a crore a month.
A crore a month.
Which is also, I would say, on the higher end. I can explain what the lifestyle looks like at a crore a month. So a crore a month, you are living in obviously the best part of the best cities. I would not say best cities, I would say best parts of the metro cities. So if you're living in, let's say we are in Mumbai right now. If you want to live in the best part of the city, like it could be, when I mean best part of the city, places where infrastructure is good and you can live a healthy life, right? That's what I mean. So Juhu is one place, Bandra is one place. If you're in Bangalore, then Indranagar is one place. And you're living in a big house. You're not living in a small house. A lot of people have gotten used to living in a matchbox-sized apartment. I would not say that is living a good life. I would say you're living in a 3-bedroom house, 2 of you, 3-bedroom house, 3,000 square feet apartment. And rent will be easily like 3-4 lakhs a month in Mumbai. If you are in a Bangalore or a Delhi, it could be 2 to 3 lakhs a month. So that's one. Then you have a good car and a driver and a maid. So that's like 2 employees who are working for you, driver and a maid. And you have a car with petrol expense and all of that. So that's another lakh a month going for these 3 different things. Then you will obviously want to go out probably once a week. And you're not spending 2,000 this time. You're spending 10,000 this time because you're going to the most fanciest restaurants in the city because your friends want to go there. So you're also going to go there. That's where you're hanging out with. Then you want to go on at least 4 vacations a year, right? And if you are going on a vacation, you'll obviously want to go business class and you want to stay in the best hotels and the best restaurants. You want to go there. So every trip you can catch 5 lakhs expenditure every trip. So that's 20 lakhs a year, which is another 2 lakhs a month going there. Then you will want to buy an expensive gadget every single year. So that's another probably 2-3 lakhs going on expensive tech gadgets. So you can add another 30K per month. Then you'll want to upgrade your wardrobe probably every 6 months. You'll spend a couple of lakhs there. So 4 lakhs a year. So another, 60K, 70K per month. So when you put all of these together, you're spending 7 to 8 lakhs a month. I think if you're able to spend 7 to 8 lakhs a month, you hit the peak. And then after that, it's just adding more of everything. 2-3 houses in India, 2-3-4 cars. That's it. There's nothing more after that.
Crore a month of income, you said.
A crore a month is also a lot. I would say if you're earning like 20 lakhs a month, you can spend 10 lakhs a month.
Which is every influencer above $1 million.
Yeah.
Insta.
Every influencer above 1 million has reached that peak. But the problem, Ranveer, how sustainable is it? Can I say that the same influencer will earn that money 20 years from now? I don't know. Most of them would be no. You're the only creator who's been doing it for 10 years. Most of them die out. I have just finished 5 years. I don't know how long I'll last as an influencer. Like my businesses are, will last beyond me. But as an influencer, that income, I don't know if I will be an influencer 5 years from now, if I'll still make money from influencing. So that's the problem. Same with other high earning income like actors and sportsmen. How long can they create that kind of wealth for them? At best 10, 15 years, even if they're at the top of the game.
What's a corpus of money in our country that's considered rich? That would get you this exact lifestyle you spoke of. Target and savings. Savings goal.
10 crores.
That's all.
10 crores if you want to be very comfortable. 10 crores, even if it is generating 10% a year, is about a crore a year. Crore a year is 10 lakhs a month of spending. 7 to 8 lakhs a month of spending, which is what I was saying. But then you will spend all the money you're making. And then the inflation will eventually eat up your corpus. So then the safe number is probably 15 crores.
15 crore of saving will get you the best possible life in India.
Then you will be rest assured that your money will never run out. You can continue spending 7-8 lakhs a month. inflation adjusted. You can also assume that a 5-6% inflation adds on top of it. And you know that the money will never run out. And you can continue living this life where you're going on 4 international vacations a year, living in the most expensive parts of the metro cities, and never having to look at the menu of expensive restaurant, never having to look at the price of the items in an expensive restaurant, and buy expensive gadgets and expensive clothes 2 to 3 times a year.
Another 5 crores on top of that as an attacking investment corpus.
Another 5 crores on top of it is basically probably you will think of buying your own house. Like until then, I would say don't buy your house, right? Because then if you bought a house out of that 15 crores, if one is a house, let's say if we're living in that 3 to 4 lakhs a month rent kind of an apartment, that apartment is going to cost you 10 crores. So out of that 15 crores, if 10 crore is the house, then you're not financially free because you only have 5 crores with you. But that 10 crores is just saving that 2-3 lakhs of month rent. But you will not be able to liquidate that house because you'll never sell your house. So you'll be very careful and mindful about spending with seeing 5 crores in your bank account. You will probably not take a business class every single time.
I'll repeat a question that I once asked you.
Sure.
What does 30 crores in savings get you that 15 crores doesn't?
Honestly, it's just additional money. Like, okay, so I was telling 15 crores from the point of 2 people. You're living a very, very good, comfortable life. Now, on top of that, if you have 2 kids, now you need to add up all their expenses which will happen in that kid's life. Education is very expensive. When you have 20 crores, you're not sending your kid to a CBSE or a state board school. You're sending your kid to an IB school where it costs 10 lakhs a year to pay the tuition.
And people often discount this, but let me tell you that there's a lot more that a kid learns in an IB school just because of their friends and teachers than what is taught in the syllabus.
I will tell you one thing. I had once gone to an IB school to conduct a quiz competition on Children's Day. They were like, I think 12-year-old kids. My team had prepared a basic set of questions. And I'm like, this should be good. They're kids. What are they going to do? So I go there and I start talking to them. And I realized that these kids have a business education subject.
Wow.
There is an economic subject, right? And then as I start talking to these kids, I realized these kids are way smarter than I thought. These questions that I prepared are not going to work out. So I told the organizers, bro, I need half an hour. I need to change all the questions. And then it was a competition between kids and the teachers. So in the teacher side, there was a math teacher, economics teacher, and a business teacher. And then there were 3 students who were the top of their class. And I had to rewrite all the questions. I asked some really tough questions, bro. I asked a question on equity saver fund is a category of which type of mutual fund? Is it equity mutual fund, debt mutual fund, hybrid fund, or a commodities fund? The correct answer is a hybrid fund. Right? They answered it. 12-year-old kids. And I'm like, bro, if everybody goes to an IB school, I'm not needed anymore. Because they're teaching so many cool things over there. Things which people typically learn at the age of 25 or probably never. And all these kids think of is not to study in IIM or IIT. All they think of, how do I get into an Ivy League school?
Yeah.
Right? Because I need the international exposure. So all of a sudden, coming back to that earlier question, how much money do I need? Now to send those kids, my kids, from an IB school to a 4-year degree in an Ivy League school in the United States or in London, that's going to be another 2 crores per kid. Maybe 3 crores per kid. So that's 5 crores.
Corpus.
Money that I need to eventually pay because I'm not going to ask my kid to get an education loan. Because if I'm a millionaire, my kid's going to expect me to pay for it. So I'm going to have to pay for it. And after that, they'll go for their master's degree. Again, I have to pay for it. That's another 2 crores gone. And then obviously in the early years of their life, I need to pay for their rent also. Probably they're living in New York City. I need to pay for that rent. The kid's going to expect that from me. And then I have to also pay for their wedding. They're not going to be happy with the 20 lakh wedding. They will want a 5 crore wedding in Udaipur. Who's going to pay for it? I have to pay for it. So then that 30 crores is the right number for this kind of a life. Now, a lot of people will be like, Sharan, you're gone too, beyond my imagination. But this is the norm now.
Yeah, this is the reality.
This is the reality. Come to South Bombay. You will find thousands of people who live this kind of a life.
Yeah, the good case outcome of raising a rich kid is that if you can coach the kid's mentality as well,
Yeah.
And you're sitting on a future investment as well.
Right.
If the kid doesn't abandon you.
No, what I've observed is that if you're able to generate, let's say, 30 crores of net worth by the age of 45, 50, and then by the time you are 60, your net worth is probably sitting at 50 to 60 crores. At that point of time, the kid is not really interested to get a job. They'll probably ask you for, Dad, can I get 1 crore, 2 crore? I'll start my own thing. They'll start it and then they'll take the family to the next level because they can take risk after risk after risk. So when you look at a third generation family, there are probably some 50 different risks that the family has taken. And you can be rich only by taking risks. You can't be rich by playing it safe. Impossible. Right? You need to take bets where you're willing to lose a crore also. To make 100 crore or to make 1,000 crores, you need to take bets where there is a possibility of losing 1 to 2 crores. Who can do that? Only the kids can do it. Because if I've made 50 crores or 100 crores, my kid can go and start a business where I'm putting 5 crores down, 2 crores down. He might lose it all and then come back to me. But on the third try, he might actually get a moonshot and build 1,000 crore company, which is what the Zepto founder has done. Adit Palicha. I mean, a lot of people see him as this company guy who has made a $10 billion company. But yes, he's extremely smart. I had the privilege of sitting with him in a flight because we sat next to each other. Sat with him for 3 hours, understanding how he thinks. He probably has an IQ of 160, 170s and super obsessed. Like he works 16 hours a day. But at the same time, he could take a risk, right? He could drop off from Stanford and, do what he's doing. So that is the possibility then, once you have 50 crores, 100 crores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back down to Pop Sugar. Welcome to Bijli MBA, Sharan Hegde.
I'm scared.
No, you have to just be super quick with your dispelling of information.
Okay.
It's for better understanding for our next set of questions. But first, I'm going to ask you some common Gen Z oriented financial questions and then we can take tangents as well.
Sure. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hegde, could you please list out 4 of the most common Indian financial mistakes?
Okay. Buying a house too early. Starting your investments too late. Not learning about how the taxation system works in the country. So you end up paying a lot more money in the early years. And lastly, not knowing how to use credit cards properly.
Okay.
4 things.
Okay. Let's begin with the credit cards point.
Sure.
How does one use credit cards properly in India?
So it's a very simple maths. So you need to understand what is your return on expenditure. So if I'm spending 100 rupees, how much am I getting back? Most people probably get 2 rupees back in terms of cash back. So the trick is to know how to get 20% back. So imagine if I spend 10 lakhs a year, can I get 2 lakhs back in terms of free flights and hotels? So if you figure that out, you are saving so much money because that 2 lakhs, which you're anyway going to spend on flights and hotels, can go towards your investments.
So free flights and free hotel stays are the main value proposition with credit card usage.
Yeah. I'll give you an example. So recently I had gone to Udaipur, the Taj Lake Palace in Udaipur. A night over there cost anywhere between 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs per night. I stayed there for 2 nights. And the total bill could have been 3 lakhs, 3.5 lakhs with food and all of that. I ended up paying only 50,000 rupees because I knew exactly how to use my credit card points.
And credit card points, if they get accumulated over time, they stay forever?
So it depends on the card. Some cards will accumulate for probably 2-3 years, they stay. Some cards unlimited, no time. But usually, see, I'm somebody who likes to go on vacation at least 3 times a year, 4 times a year. So my motto is simple. I spend for 3 months, use those points on the next trip. And then when I'm spending on the trip, that also gives me back more points.
Got
So let's say I go to, Dubai. I went to Dubai recently. The flights and hotels were free. And then in Dubai, let's say I bought my mom a designer bag for 3 lakhs. I swipe on my credit card. I have, 20% of 3 lakh is almost 60,000 rupees. I have 60,000 rupees for my next business class ticket to Bangkok. This is an example.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, in percentage, how many percentage of Indians know how to use the credit cards correctly?
I would say, forget percentage. I would say, see, there are about 10 crore credit cards which have been disbursed in India right now, which is very less compared to United States. United States, there are 30 crore people, and there have been more than 1 billion credit cards issued over there. So like 3 to 4 for every person living there. In India, only 10 crore for 150 crore people.
What's the logic of using multiple?
Because different credit cards for different purposes. Once this limit ends, you use the other limit. Or you sort of, there are certain credit cards after a certain amount of expenditure won't give you more points. So you use another credit card. So for fuel, there could be one particular credit card. For rent, there will be another kind of credit card. But the reason why in United States it is so high is because they're going into a debt trap. That's another thing. If you do not know how to manage your money, then don't get a credit card, which is what's happening in the United States. But coming back to the question, I would say the number of people who know how to use credit cards properly will not be more than 10,000 people out of these 10 crore people who have a credit card.
Wow.
Not more than 10,000 people.
Wow. Okay. Taxation. What can one know through a podcast about going correctly about the process of taxation?
So one is a very simple thing. Every year, you can save at least 60 to 70,000 rupees in taxes. And most people don't know how to do this. So there's something known as profit harvesting and loss harvesting. So I'll talk about profit harvesting first. So everybody is going to be investing in stocks and equity mutual funds in their lifetime. Now, you are not taxed on the first 1.25 lakhs of profit. So let us say I bought mutual funds for 5 lakhs and I sold it for 10 lakhs. I made a 5 lakh profit. The first 1.25 lakhs, I'm not paying any taxes. The remaining 3.75 lakhs, the government is going to charge me 12.5% tax, which is about, in this particular example, around 40,000 rupees. Now, most people, what they do is that they invest for 5 lakhs. 10 years later, they sell it for 10 lakhs. And then they pay the tax on the profit. What you need to do instead is to buy and sell every single year so that you're booking the profits for every single year. So, for example, if I start with 5 lakhs, next year I will have, let's say, 5.5 lakhs. That's 50,000 rupees profit. Now, if I sell and buy within the same day and I book a 50,000 rupees profit, how much tax am I paying? Zero. Because the first 1.25 lakhs, I'm not paying any tax. So I keep repeating this every year. So every year I'm paying zero tax. So even after the 10th year, if I'm selling it for 10 lakhs, I'm paying zero tax. Because every year I book profit which is less than 1.25 lakhs. Now you can do this not just for yourself. You can do this with your spouse, you can do it with your kids, with your parents. So let's say I'm a family of 6 people. Me, my wife, my 2 kids, and my 2 parents. 6 people. So 6 into 1.25 lakhs tax exemption. So that is the potential every single year that I can use, which most people don't do because they're either lazy, procrastinate, or they don't know exactly how to do this, right? Because if you do it incorrectly, you can also end up paying two times higher taxes. Because if you sell the wrong mutual funds before it crosses 1 year, then you will end up paying higher tax. So this is one simple thing which a lot of people don't do. Another one I told about loss harvesting. So if you have losses, which most of them will have a loss this year because the markets have not performed well, even if you are not willing to sell it and buy it immediately so that you can use that loss. It's a notional loss. It's not a real loss. Let's say you invested 10 lakhs last year. Today it's 8 lakhs, for example. Now, yes, 5 years later, that 8 lakhs will become 20 lakhs. But you actually got a loss this year of 2 lakhs. So if I sell it for 8 lakhs and buy it for 8 lakhs the very next day, to the government, I can say, hey, bro, I have a 2 lakh loss. Not in reality. You actually are sitting on that same 8 lakhs, which will grow. But to the government, I can say, hey, I got a 2 lakh loss. Now, this 2 lakh loss can be used for the next 8 years on all my future profits. So I say I'm saving a lot of money by doing this. So these are some 2 things which I feel most people don't use. And that's you're just leaving money on the table.
And there's a lot more.
Like hundreds more.
100 more techniques.
100 more techniques.
I'm assuming only a CA can teach you these techniques.
Ideally, yes. But it is not difficult to learn this, right? If you understood whatever I said until now, I mean, it's easy to understand. At the end of the day, it's just mathematics. The government sets the rules. You understand where the maths can be used in terms of, taking things to your advantage. Because the government is not going to, like when Nirmala Sitharaman ma'am, one comes on the budget, she's not going to tell you these hacks. She's just going to tell the budget, say that, okay, the tax has gone from 10% to 12.5%. The exemption is 1.25 lakhs. She's not going to tell you that, how you can use that to your benefit every year. She's not going to do that. That is something that you need to figure out.
And every year the rules keep changing. Slightly.
Exactly. The rules will change again in 3-4 months, and then it's my job to understand what are the new hacks I can figure out from there.
Pop sugar angle. What are the traits of a great CA?
They are not just thinking about filing your taxes. Filing taxes is easy. You don't need a CA for that. There are so many apps out there which will do it automatically, right? Traits of a good CA is somebody who will tell you how to invest your money as well. Like let's say they are done with filing your taxes in 2025. It's already over. Now they'll tell you that, okay, these are the mistakes that you've done. For next year, before you come to me, please do these things. Keep it ready. Because see, a normal person cannot afford a CA the whole year. Right? I can't have a CA looking at my portfolio every single month. So a good CA will tell you, Ranveer, you've done these mistakes, due to which I could only save this much tax this year. Next year, I can help you save so much tax based on your income and your expenditure and your investments. Please do A, B, C, D. So when you come to me in July or August, I can save those taxes for you. Because if you've not done this, and once March has been completed, and we're in April 1st, there is nothing you can do to save taxes after that.
Gotcha.
So that is what a CA needs to tell. But they don't do it. Because in reality, what happens, a CA doesn't care about a salaried person. Now you might ask me why. Because a salaried person is paying a CA at best 5,000 rupees to file their taxes. Right? It's not worth the chartered accountant's time to get 5,000 rupees from you once a year. So what will they do? They will pawn off your work to an article who has 1 year, 2 year experience. Because it's very easy to filing your taxes. They will finish it in like 10-15 minutes, and they have every article will have thousands of a person's taxes to be filed. So they look at you like it's like a factory. They look at you as one application to be done. And you pay 5,000 rupees, the CA will pocket it. There's no incentive for him or her to come and tell you this is what you need to do. He will do that if he is representing you the whole year. If they're on a retainer with you, like I pay my CA 70,000 rupees a month because I have 5 different businesses. So along with that, I get a lot of different advantages because, for example, my CA told me about Section 80 IAC, in which I pay 0 taxes in my businesses. So I registered my business as a startup. So for the next 3 years, I'm paying 0 taxes, literally 0 taxes, right? So that's crores in money saved. What is 70K per month I'm paying my CA, right? So this is the advantage of having a CA the whole year. But because you can't get that access, you need to have a good CA who can give you that time and tell you all these things. But most of them will not do it.
For someone who's just started earning money and can't afford a CA, is there an AI prompt that you can use?
Unfortunately, we've tried this a lot. AI is not good with mathematics yet. It makes a lot of mistakes, right? So I don't ask AI to do complicated mathematics for me. I still prefer Excel for that. Because you will not know what the mistakes are because you yourself don't know what the taxation rules are of this country. So if you tell AI something to give you some tax planning advice, it could be an outdated advice as well. Because AI is hallucinating and it doesn't know what the new rule is, right? So that could cost you some money. Because the old rules, if you follow now, you will end up making a mistake.
How far are we from seeing fantastic financial AI agents?
I think we're not very far. I think that it's theoretically possible, right? If we're not there yet, but it is one day possible to reach that point.
Within 5 years?
I think within the next 1-2 years. We are actually working on those kind of things in our app. Right? We're building an AI financial advisor. So once you have connected your financial information, your AI advisor can sort of tell you what to do.
Gotcha.
But it's not going to happen next month or 2 months. Probably will take a year or so.
Gotcha. Okay. So you said don't start late as well.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no early age when it comes to investments. The earlier, the better.
Yeah, I mean, I started at the age of 18.
18?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was fortunate that my grandmother used to give me pocket money whenever I used to visit her in our ancestral town. So when on my birthday, she used to give me 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. So by the time I turned 18, it had become 50,000 rupees of cash, which my mom helped me open a bank account. And then from there, I started.
Whether you start at 15 or 30, do the rules of starting stay the same?
See, at the end of the day, it's about learning how money works. So whether you have money or not, learn how it works first, right? Because when you start making money, if you do not know how it works, you will lose it. Like I'll give you one example. Did you know that a lot of the people who win lottery, we hear these stories about people winning lottery of 100 crores, 200 crores, $100 million. there is actually a study done that most of these lottery winners actually end up losing that money. But why is that? How is that possible? Because if those guys just put in a normal fixed deposit, forget fixed deposit, if they just put in a savings account and got 4%, 5% interest rate, they would have never had to work for the rest of their life. But because they don't know how money works, they will take the wrong decisions and end up losing that money. Most people can't handle money. Like, I'll give you another example. So, let's take the example of LIC policy, right? It is something that is supposed to give you back money if you die to your family. So, let's say there is 1 crore insured in your name. Let's suppose you die and your family is supposed to get 1 crore. There is a criteria in it which you can set. If you feel that your family cannot handle money, you can tell that LIC company, do not give 1 crore to my family right now. Give it in monthly installments or yearly installments, because I know they will, lose all that money. So there is an option for that now, right? So if you feel like your family cannot manage the money, you can select that option. So a lot of people can't manage money. Like you give 1 crore to somebody, you think that their life is set. Their life is not set. They will lose it. Most of them will lose it.
Have you seen cases like this in real life?
Many, because we have seen a case where in one of our clients, before they got onboarded, this person was sitting on 2 crores of debt while making a salary of upwards of 60 lakhs per annum. So imagine 60 lakhs per annum is sitting on 2 crores of debt.
Content creator?
No, not a content creator. This is a salaried person. 60 lakhs income, sitting on 2 crores of debt. How did that happen? Right? I'm not talking about home loan kind of debt. I'm talking about credit card debt.
Just glamorous
personal
life.
Loan debt. Yeah, glam stuff, because they don't know how to control their expenses and they don't know how to evaluate good products from bad products. Like, there are thousands of financial products. Like, there are 4,000 mutual funds and there are thousands of other insurance products. So there are thousands of different products. So less than probably 10% of them are good for you, right? And the 90% products which are not good for you are the ones which makes the banks money. They will not tell you that because they want to get money out of you, right? And if you end up choosing them, for example, if you choose, let's say, a money back plan, you'd have heard of these products, right? Pay 50,000 rupees every year for 10 years. 20th year from now, you will get 2 lakhs a year. Now, when you hear it, you're like, wow, that's great. I'm giving you 1 lakh for 10 years and then 20 years later, you're going to give me 2 lakhs every year. That's how an average person thinks. But if you do the math, it's a shit product. So a lot of people end up taking 4-5 products like this. So this money which could have gone into mutual funds has gone into these products, getting you 4 to 5% returns.
You have a very good lens on finance.
Yeah.
Again, I represent the ones that don't.
Yeah.
It boils down to great conversational skills. Ask your finance bros the right questions, and if you don't understand something, ask them to explain it in detail. Explain it to me like I'm 5.
Right.
Just do that. But before any kind of financial decision, do that. The other rule I personally follow is I make every expense pinch me a bit.
Right.
And if it's pinching me a little too hard, I ask one of my bros, hey, what do you think of this? And I make them explain each pinch to me from their eyes.
Right.
And that's how I polish up my financial skills over time. Because I don't have the same mathematical eyesight that you do.
No, I think more than that, more than the pinch, a lot of people, let's say somebody is giving you financial advice. They will tell you, don't do this. It's bad. Let's say, for example, you want to buy a car. It's a 1 crore car. They're like, don't buy the car. It's not good for you. Most people will not listen to that advice. They're like, you're telling me not to do it, but I want to do it, right? I will spend it. It's a 1 crore car.
YOLO.
Right? So, but if you give them option B. Now, what is option B? Let's take this example. I'll give you an example which happened in my life. So I recently bought a Range Rover, and this is the first luxury car I bought. This first hand, if you go to the showroom, it's for 1.5 crore. Now, I also know that the car value will depreciate by 50%, if not more, within the first 3 years. So I first went to 10 different showrooms of different car brands. I drove multiple cars. I saw what car I liked, the first hand one. I'm like, okay, I like this car. Now let me do the financial engineering. Definitely not going to buy it from that salesperson, because if I buy it from the showroom, I not only have to pay the price of the car, I also have to pay road tax and registration and all of that shit. So I'm not going to pay 1.5, 1.6 crore for a car. Now the salesperson will market to you, not to you as a 1.5 crore car. He will be like, sir, only 3 lakhs monthly EMI. Now I'm like, if I'm earning in crores every month, 3 lakhs monthly EMI is nothing. I should go for it. Right? Now, if I had to bring this down to the perspective of a middle class person, let's say they're buying a 20-30 lakh car. They'll be like, sir, it's only 20,000-30,000 rupees monthly EMI. If I'm making 1 lakh a month, 20,000 rupees monthly EMI seems nothing. So that's how it's market it to you. Now, what is the right way of looking at it? The right way of looking at it is, can I get a car, the same car, which is probably 3 years old, right? And driven less than 30 to 40,000 kilometers. So I found one. I found a Range Rover, which is 30,000 kilometer driven. And a 1.5 crore car was being sold for 60 lakhs. So all of a sudden, I've saved 90 lakhs by just deciding to go with a car which is 3 years old. Not just that, I didn't even have to pay for like usually number plates are expensive in Maharashtra. I didn't even have to pay for it. Like I got a great number plate, 10 written on it. I was lucky. Like 10 was written on it. And I don't even have to pay the road tax again. It's already paid for. That would have been another, 5-6 lakhs. Now comes the second part. Now comes the financing part. Now people will say, Sharan, car loan interest rate for a second-hand car is high. Probably will cost you 9 to 10% interest rate, right? Sometimes more. So what did I do? I had an FD ready. Now people know I have a lot of FDs which they're against, but I'll tell you what I do, right? I obviously have my company. I can't put money in mutual funds. I have to keep in FD. So what did I do? I told the bank, here is a 50 lakh FD. Give me a loan against that FD. Not a car loan. Give me a loan against that FD. So I got a loan for 8.5% interest rate on a second-hand car, which is very difficult to get. So I got that. So I got an 8.5% interest rate. So my cost of borrowing is also less, saved 90 lakhs. Now comes the second thing. I also paid a certain amount of the car with my credit card. So if I paid 10 lakhs of that car value using my credit card, I have a 15 lakh limit, I swipe it. I get 2.5 lakhs back. Sometimes even 3 lakhs back, depending on which credit card I'm using. So I saved money there also, right? And the remaining amount, then I sold my existing car. I sold it for probably 12-15 lakhs. So my final cost of my car is not more than 35-40 lakhs. 35-40 lakhs ke upar, I have a 8.5% interest, which is about 20-30K per month. So from 3 lakhs monthly EMI, 3 to 4 lakhs monthly EMI, it's come down to 20 to 30K monthly EMI. That is the financial engineering you need to learn, because I am understanding how money is entering my life and how money is going out of my life. See that, right? Like even though I'm earning in crores, I don't want to pay a 3 lakh monthly EMI. I'm ready to pay 20,000, 30,000 monthly EMI. Driving a 1.5 crore car, it's as good as new.
I'll give you a bit of a tiny rebuttal. The rebuttal is that you're a very financially savvy guy.
But whatever I said is not rocket science. It's just maths.
I know at least 80% of people won't do this exact thing if they're in the same position.
Okay.
But maybe out of those 80%, 50% will do what I say, which is that you said 1.5 crore is the price of the car. You bought a second-hand car. So they'll spend that 60
lakhs. Yeah.
You're left with how much? 90 lakhs you saved?
Yeah.
Just simply look at the 90 lakhs as a corpus for investment.
Yeah.
As in, it's a much lower level financial lens on the same problem.
No, the thing is that you didn't have 90 lakhs to begin with. See, a lot of these people buying a 1 crore plus car are not crorepati's themselves. See, car is such an emotional purchase. It's like an iPhone, right? It is. A lot of people who are buying iPhones can't pay 1 lakh rupees outright to buy the iPhone. Similarly, most of the people buying a 1 crore car don't have 1 crore in their bank account to buy that 1 crore car. The reason why BMW and Mercedes are seeing record sales right now is because they've come up with the next level EMI options to allow people to buy these cars. And they also give buyback options, saying that 3 years later, I will buy this car at this price from you, which you can either use it to buy the next version of the car, next model of the car, or you just get your money back. So when it's packaged like this, a lot of people earning 2 to 3 lakhs a month are now buying a 1.5 crore car, 1 crore car. So it's not a right way to look at it saying I saved 90 lakhs because they're not crorepatis to begin with. What you look at is your monthly outflow. How much of my monthly outflow is going because of this? Because every monthly outflow, every rupee of monthly outflow is not money invested in growing assets. It's going into depreciating assets. That's the way to look at it.
Another tiny rebuttal.
Okay.
For whatever reason, so I'm an engineer, I'm good with math.
Yeah.
But I'm not financially savvy. I'm not a financially savvy person. My way of overcoming that is that I have financially savvy people who work alongside me.
Sure.
Who have built trust with over time, and they make a lot of my decisions.
Right.
I'm just aware of everything they are doing. But when it comes to a large purchase like this, I follow a very basic life rule, which is that if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once.
Yeah, of course.
And I think I represent a much larger majority of people, because when I talk to a lot of people that I meet even on the show, if it's an artist, I see that these people are not financially disciplined at all. Like most shockingly, at least all the media people we meet, the general audience will be appalled to know how less people save.
No, that's true. So I will give you one point to that. So if you're somebody earning 20-30 lakhs a month, it's okay to make some financial mistakes. Like you're talking about these comedians and movie stars. They know probably, buying this, buying this G-Wagon for 3.5 crore is probably not a financially wise decision. But they're like, you know what, I just signed this movie for 3 crores, 4 crores. I just made this money. So it's fine, I'll make this financially dumb mistake. It's okay for them. But if you are somebody who is earning less than 2 to 3 lakhs a month, then it's not okay. Because if you make such silly mistakes, then it's going to, survival becomes a problem. Once you start earning 20-25 lakhs a month, survival is not a problem. Unless you make some really, really bad mistake, like buying a house too early, right? But other than that, it's fine.
Let's move on to that.
Yeah.
That buying a house too early. The age-old problem. If we ask any real estate guest on the show, they'll always encourage you to buy a house.
Because they get brokerage, no?
Yes. Right. I mean, that's their business.
Right. So I'll tell you the problem, right? So firstly, you need to understand how real estate works. Like a lot of people look at real estate as a ready 3-bedroom house, 1 crore house, 80,000 rupees monthly EMI, I start my family. That is the definition of real estate for 99.9% of people here. Right? Now, let's understand who are the ones who make money in real estate. Now, a lot of people that both of us know are rich because of real estate. But they're not rich in real estate by buying a ready house. They never became rich in real estate by buying a ready house, especially not in India. Because the only ways of making money from a ready house are two things, right? One is the rent, which is 2% before tax. And then is the capital appreciation of that property, which is 5% in a big city. So 5 plus 2, 7. If you consider tax, it's 4.5% growth. No one ever became rich by growing their money at 4.5%, right? So if you're buying a ready-made house, you're already too late. Unless you're in Dubai. Because in Dubai, you will get 8 to 9% rent and you pay 0% tax. On top of it, your money is also growing by 5% because the value of the land is also growing. On top of that, you have the currency depreciation because the dirham is pegged against the dollar, right? Dollar is reached 90 rupees now. So dollar is increasing by 3 to 4% every year. So if I combine 8% rental income, 5% growth in the value of the house, 8 plus 5, 13, 13 plus 3 to 4%. So 16 to 17% you can make in the Dubai real estate market. If you buy a ready-made house also. But in India, you can't do that. So for Indians, we're kind of screwed if you buy a ready-made house, which is what 99% of people are doing. Hence, I say if you buy a house too early, a ready-made house, because most people are not going to buy an under-construction house because it's too risky. If you're going to buy a ready-made house in India, before you made a crore, you are as good as, never being financially free for the rest of your life. Unless you get a lottery and, start working for McKinsey, BCG, Bain, or Google and Apple.
So bottom line, especially for Gen Zs, is do not target buying a house in India to multiply your assets.
Yeah, I mean, our previous generation people have messed it up for us, right? Like they have taken up the real estate value so high, and it's not just the previous generation people; it's the people in India who do not pay taxes. See, a lot of people in India who are rich, who are wealthy, who have businesses, cash-rich businesses, are not paying taxes. They park their untaxed money in real estate. What is the Magnolia's apartment all about? Like, why is it worth 100 crores? DLF Magnolia
the most expensive.
Yeah, 100 crore apartment. Why is it a 100 crore apartment? Why do you think so? Because all the people living there have parked their black money over there. Right? All the people who are living there are people who own huge businesses. Now, you might say that it's a community of rich people, so rich people pay a lot of money, which is one part of the argument. But where is that 100 crore coming to buy those apartments? Right? It's a lot of black money involved over there. Right? So this is not just a thing in that particular apartment. It's all over the country, right? The reason why that the Gen Z and the millennials feel like we can't buy a house anymore is because the rich people who are not paying taxes have created land banks for themselves. There are people who own 20, 30 different apartments and are not living there. Right? They're just giving it for rent to us. They have hiked up the value of the house to 2.5, 3 crores. So we can't buy the house. We are forced to rent. And they increase the rent also quite drastically because of more and more unaccounted money going into these houses. So they're kind of screwed it up for us. But there's not much we can do about it.
So if one wants to multiply their wealth through real estate in India and one is a Gen Z,
Yeah.
would you direct them towards buying land?
See, Gen Z will not... See, to make money in real estate, you better start off by being a crorepati. You have to be a crorepati. You can't make money otherwise. Like, for example, let us say there is a Gen Z with 20, 30 lakhs. Okay. And let's say then they have to make the most riskiest bet in real estate, which is going to the outskirts and buying land, which is what you said. But that is a very long game, first of all. You could go wrong because you might think that, okay, the city will expand over here. But how much time will it take? Your money is stuck until then. Right? Because the only way you get an exit is that when a builder comes and finally buys your land. Right? Or a road got constructed in front of the land that you bought. So very risky game. So let's say you have 20 lakhs and you bought 10 lakhs worth of land in the outskirts of the city. Are you ready to take that risk? Because your money is stuck over there. Right? So if you want to become wealthy in real estate, you need to have a crore and start investing in under construction projects, right? Where you have a very flexible payment plan. Like when you book your property, you're not paying 20% upfront. You're probably paying 5% or 10%. And as the construction is continuing, you pay 5% every 6 months or 10% every 6 months. And at the end, you are still given a leeway that, okay, last 20, 30%, I'll take a loan. And while the construction is happening, so I'll tell you how it works, right? So in the beginning, end users, the person who actually wants to live there, are not buying when the construction is starting because it will take 3 years, 4 years to complete. If I am a person who wants to start a family, I'm not going to tell, 4 years later, I will move into this. No, I want a house ready right now. So in the beginning, the people who are investing money are the crorepattis, right? They invest money. Now, 2 years done, 3 years done, that last 1-2 years, the price shoots up a lot. Why? Because of the demand. Because in the last 1 year, the demand is coming from the end users. Because they are now ready to come in by taking a home loan. Because when the home loan is available to you, the number of people ready to buy it becomes 10 times more, 20 times more. Because now it's not the crorepattis. Now it's a middle class person who's earning 1 lakh a month, who's coming 2 lakhs a month trying to live there.
Who has been sold the dream of owning a home.
Exactly.
And who is caught up in their own emotions.
Exactly. But you as a smart investor, you got in early when the construction is happening. Just before the handover happens, you find a bakra, sell it to him and leave and repeat it.
Would you say that the rich people in India know how to handle their emotions better?
Yes, exactly. I actually have a great story here. So I was talking to a guy recently who is worth 500 crores. And I am guilty of saying this, but I almost got convinced to buy a house in Goa because of the ads that I've been receiving. Right? These are the luxury home villa projects happening in Goa. And me and you, we are fried living in Mumbai. We are like, this life is shit, bad quality of air, traffic. So everybody in India is being sold the dream of Goa. Come to Goa, own your villa, be surrounded by nature and live life like how it's meant to be lived. So I was like, yeah, this seems like a good idea. Probably I can move my base to Goa. I can have fresh air to breathe. I can also call my guest here to do my podcast and all of that. And then I started talking about this. And obviously, I'm not going to just take an emotional decision. I also started doing the research that, okay, land in Goa is limited. You can't just chop down trees to make more land. So whenever there's a limited supply of land, the price should go up. All of those are valid points. Correct. The problem is these builders who are selling ready-made villas over there are hiking up the price. They buy land over there for probably 30,000-40,000 rupees per square meter and they sell it for 2.5-3 lakh rupees per square meter. So 10x, right? So I am being sold such an expensive product. So then the next option is, okay, I buy the land and build it myself. I buy it for 30,000 rupees per square meter and I build it myself. Now, for a busy person like me to go to Goa and look after the construction, and there is also a lot of mafias in Goa. If you go and buy land over there and start building, the mafias will come and tell you to get the hell out of this place, right? You can't do construction like that. It's not that simple. Not that simple. And then as I was talking to this guy who's worth 500 crores, I told him this whole thing. He's like, Sharan, look, do not confuse investment with your emotions, right? If you're really looking at Goa from an emotional point of view, first do an Airbnb for 1 month and see if you really like it. Probably spend a couple of lakhs, rent a villa over there. See if it's really, if it's really the kind of life you want to build, right? So don't end up confusing investment with your emotion. He's like, the return on my capital, right, is not going to be good in real estate by doing this because I'm already sold a very expensive price. At best, this property will grow at maybe 6-7% or 10% every year. Now, this guy is somebody who is into the world of stock market. He probably makes like 30-35% a year. He's like, bro, Sharan, you're young. You're 30. You don't need to buy a house right now. If I can help you find opportunities where you can make even 30% a year, why are you getting your money stuck in the real estate market in Goa, where even liquidity issues are there? So that sort of was like a rewiring of my mind again of the lessons that I forgot, which was taught to me because emotions got into the way. So point I'm trying to make is, yes, these rich people, they are very good at separating emotions from return on capital. That's the only thing that matters. Return on capital. Yeah. That's it.
At every stage of financial discipline, I think your biggest enemy is emotion.
Agreed, 100%.
Whether you're a Gen Z who wants to go for that stupid concert, or whether you're worth hundreds of crores and you want to do a stupid real estate or yacht purchase.
Yeah.
Effectively, you're doing it for the kid inside you.
Yeah. I think concerts are still okay. I mean, I like concerts. Let's not.
I think concerts are great if you like the artist.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So concerts are fine, guys. Please go to concerts. But do not get into these no-cost EMI options on products that are not gonna really change your life, right? Don't get the iPhone 17 just because all your friends have it, right? That's I would say a big one. Don't get those sneakers. Don't get those expensive bags. That's not the right time right now. That's not the way to do it. I'm always going to advocate of spending on experiences. You want to go for the trip with your friends, please do it. You want to go for a concert with your friends, please do it. Because these are core memories, right? These are what you'll remember when you die. When I die, I'm not gonna remember I have 100 crores in my bank account. I'm gonna remember these memories. I'm not gonna remember the iPhone 17 I bought in 2025. I'm gonna remember the boys trip I took to Bali. So you definitely spend money on that because life is about a collection of memories that's what remains with you when you die. Yeah. So definitely do that.
In the 10-year content journey, I've had a perfumes phase, a sneakers phase, clothes phase, cars phase. And I'm totally out of all those phases now. The only phase I'm totally in is travel.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I think is worth spending your money on because those are the memories that make who you are, right? Yeah. Like this iPhone, this is still the iPhone 15.
Yeah, same.
Right?
Same.
It's still the iPhone 15. I've not changed it. And I met Technical Guruji recently at an event. He was obviously having the iPhone 17, the brand new Pro Max. And he also had a Samsung Galaxy Fold 7. He needs it. It's his bread and butter. He needs to buy those products. But he saw my phone and he's like, what are you using? You're still on the iPhone 16. I'm like, no, this is the iPhone 15. He was like, bhai, tu kya kar raha hai? Right? He got so offended that I'm on this phone, right? So, the point being, I'm not going to remember this at the age of 60. That I bought this phone and all of this happened, right? But I am going to remember the trips that I took, the concerts that I attended, right? The gifts that I bought my family. That's good. Buying for other people is amazing, right? So I would never buy a 3 lakh bag for myself, but I would definitely buy it for my mom. Yeah. So that is money well spent, right? And my mom, when she got the bag, she was kissing it. She slept with it. Yeah. Those are memories you remember for the rest of your life, right? And she will, feel like, wow, I never thought this will happen to me in my life, and it happened to me because of my son. So that's a win-win situation for money.
Also, you'll be capable of buying those 3 lakh, 4 lakh gifts if you are financially disciplined today.
Yes.
And if you're unemotional about your large financial decisions.
Yes. So this memory I will remember when I die. That I was able to make my mom happy, by buying her a 3 lakh designer bag, which she never thought she'll ever buy in her whole life.
Yeah.
I will remember this.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to remember the 3 lakh sneakers that I bought when I was 22, when I'm dying at the age of 75 or 80. I'm not going to remember that, right? So things that you buy for others, experiences that you buy for others, you'll remember.
This is a great use case of what to do with your own emotional energy.
Yeah.
Why are these emotional decisions being made by those people in the first place? So an excess of emotional energy, I want to experience life. I've always dreamt of this. It's a stupid decision. You need to run it through 3 financial bros. That's my standard rule.
Yeah.
Um,
I always ask before I make any big financial decision. I ask 3 different people. One is my co-founder, right, who is been with me for the last 5 years. Like, because he understands everything about my financial life, my journey, everything. So I run everything by him. Second is my mom and dad, right? So I run it by them as well to get their conservative perspective as well. Because that's also important, because that grounds me to where I began. And the last is another person who is 10 times richer than me. Right? So basically my billionaire and multimillionaire friends, right? So these are the 3 sets of people that I ask before making any big financial decision. And it sorts of, and then I think over it for a month. And then I go ahead and make a decision. If it's a decision which is in lakhs.
let me do a financial consultation with you.
Yeah.
Free of cost 1% club utilization
Okay.
by Beer Biceps.
Okay.
How do I go about this dream of creating a base in the hills and or a base in Goa? Direct me. Do I buy land first? Where do I buy it?
For you particularly, or you're asking for the general public? Because for you particularly, you don't need my help, bro. Pack up and leave.
For the general public.
Yeah.
On behalf of them,
Yeah.
I ask you for me.
So I think, bro, I've realized that you don't need a lot of money to live those lives. So first thing is to break your control of your time. A lot of people don't control their time, right? So first thing is to break that. Now, how do you break it? You first find companies which are open to you being flexible. They don't have very strict policies on you coming to their office. Very flexible work timings. You can work whenever you want, however you want. So that is the first thing. And today that has become very easy because a lot of companies have offered this as a work culture. Because if they don't do that, Gen Zs are not going to join those companies.
Okay, here you're talking about a life in the hills or a life on the seaside?
I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So first thing is that if you are able to work from anywhere, see, I'm not going to tell you, hey, quit your job, start your own business. No, that's not practical for everybody and not very feasible also, because you have a lot of baggage, you have a lot of financial obligations with your family. You can't just take a risk like that. Not everybody can. So I'm not telling you to quit your job. I'm saying you be in a job, but pick the right companies. Pick a company which will allow you to take control of your time back. So the company is not going to say anything if you work 5 hours a day or 10 hours a day, as long as you get the job done. So one is that. So for that, you need to be a subject matter expert in a certain skill, right? If you are, let's say, for example, an editor, for example. Now, you can edit from everywhere, right? You can have a good computer, good internet speed. You can edit a video from anywhere, right? So first is to have a subject matter expertise in something. Join a company which is very flexible in their work culture. If this is done, no, Ranveer, it's actually very easy to do the life that you talked about. Because if you can leave these goddamn cities, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, your cost of living comes down half. So that's actually a win-win, right? Let's say I go to Rishikesh and I live in a place where I get a 1 month stay at in like a very nice room facing the mountains, where I don't get food, but it's like a 1-bedroom kind of a setup. They usually cost not more than 10,000, 15,000 for the whole month. Same with Goa. 10 to 15,000 rupees a month, you can get a killer place, right? Obviously, it's not going to have the luxuries of a 5-star hotel, but we're not talking about that, right? We're talking about firstly moving to that location. Straight up, you are saving 30,000 because that's the rent you would have paid here in bigger cities. Then you are like, okay, Sharan, how am I going to work in my room? You don't need to, because these cities have great co-working spaces where you can pay like, I don't know, like pay 10,000 rupees for the whole month to go and work over there. And you don't even have to go there every day. You can pay the day passes. People are like, okay, you're going to be lonely, you're going to make friends. Go to these co-working spaces, become friends with other people who are living a life like you, right? So that's it. You didn't need to have 10 crores in your bank account to start living this life. Now, of course, is this going to be difficult if you're in a relationship? Is this going to be difficult if you have kids? Yes, but we're talking to the Gen Zs, right? So with the Gen Z, you can do this, right? And for all you know, you might find your partner who has that same kind of mindset as you. And then you can extend this kind of a life until you're 35 when you're about to have kids. And then you have kids, and then obviously you'll have to take a call. Then there are other options here as well. I know a lot of people who do homeschooling.
Yeah.
You don't need to be necessarily in a big school.
This is becoming a huge thing
Yes.
in the world of entrepreneurs. Homeschooling children.
Correct.
When I tell people that, they look at me like I'm crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a conversation we hear very, very often.
Correct.
Let's shed some light on it.
Well, I'm not an expert here because I'm not even married, but I know some people who are doing it. So basically, it's very simple. It's just that there are a lot of communities, I would say, of parents who do this. And once you're a part of this community, there is a set kind of a curriculum, a way of teaching these kids. Obviously, you need to be a person who is not an office-going person to do this. You need to be a person who has already done that step 1, step 2, like I said. You've already taken control of your time. You can already work from anywhere you want, right? And you're living in a place where there's no traffic, right? Because you're not wasting time in traffic traveling. So which is like, these beaches and the mountains. Also, I know a lot of people who move to Bangkok now. They move to Bangkok and they're also moved to Bali, right? These are places where all people with this kind of a mindset from all over the world are coming to. And they're not millionaires or even crorepatис. These are people who've just taken control of their time, can work from anywhere they want, and they moved here. Because once you do that, if you have control of your time, and if you can stay with your kids at home, you can start homeschooling them. Right now, I'm not an expert to say that this is the best thing to do. All I'm saying it is possible. So if you're able to take care of the homeschooling part, then you're sorted, right? Because then you never have to ever come to a big city. Because I honestly feel that these big cities, Mumbai, Bangalore, Delhi, had I not had an office here with 200 people, I would have been out of here 2 years back.
Yeah, same.
Right. That's the only reason I'm here is because I have 200 people working over here. They can't do what I can do. So I'm staying here for them.
I believe I speak for Delhi, Bangalore as well. These are the 3 career cities of our country.
Right.
But I do believe that Gen Zs should look at these cities as stepping stones at this stage.
These cities.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, in the beginning, yes. You have to because the jobs are only over there. See, for you to figure out a work from home where you're very flexible with your time and all of that, it's not going to happen in the first 2-3 years of your career. It's not going to happen because you have not built that confidence and that reputation yet.
Yeah, you need education from these cities.
Correct. Like if you're a fresher, I'm not going to give you work from home and work from Goa because I don't trust you. But if you have 3 years in your belt of working on multiple companies and I have a good reference check on you, if I talk to your manager, then go by all means go do it because you have built that trust.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you come to a city, figure out those connections, but don't stay here for the rest of your life. Unless obviously things improve. But I don't think it's going to happen in the next 10 years for sure. Because we're already like neck deep in problems. It's going to take 10 years, if not more, to fix it and reverse it.
You're talking about urban
cities, yeah. I don't think in 10 years it's going to change.
They say that this whole metro line construction will change the city and the ring road will change the city. Maybe. Let's see what happens in the next 5 years in Mumbai. But I anticipate that when the city does get fixed, more people will move in.
True.
And we're still going to see traffic and all this. So I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, because see, in India here, we are not able to control the number of people coming here, the number of cars that can be bought. All of that is not controlled. Like in places like Singapore, you can't just buy another car, right? Because it's going to cause traffic problem. Like Dubai is facing that problem right now because there's too much of traffic, right? So because all of a sudden a lot of people moved in, right? Like the population doubled in the last 10 years. So they are facing a lot of traffic problem. But I know they will fix it in 1 year.
Yeah.
Because the government controls everything over there. They can plan a whole city if they want to.
Yeah.
But here it's not possible. So it's going to take time.
Okay. I'll tell you what, when I talk to really rich kids, people who've grown up with wealth in our city, which is mainly South Bombay and Juhu Bandra.
Yeah.
None of them want to leave.
Yeah,
Fair
they don't
enough.
wanna leave, yeah.
Fair enough. Nice life they're living, etc. Their
No,
life
not
is
just that. I'll tell you why they don't want to leave. I think you are also from here, but I think the reason why they don't want to leave is because all their friends are here. And I would say the number one thing for a content life is the community that you have around you. So even if you go to Bali and if you're not able to build that same kind of community that you have in Mumbai, then you might still feel the life is empty. You know what I mean? But I don't feel that way as an outsider. Because I'm like, I came here 3 years back. And all the friends that I've made are career and business friends, with barring a couple of them. But it's not the same as childhood friends. It's not that kind of a community.
fair. Minus these rich kids, I think everyone who can speak English at least is being squeezed out of the city. No one's calling it out.
People who can speak English are being squeezed out.
Should be squeezed out also.
Why, what does that mean?
We're capable of selling to the world now. If you can speak English.
True.
Go market yourself abroad. Brain drain is not discouraged anymore. Very logical economic reasons, and you can pump money back into the country by living abroad.
100%. Yep.
So I just think that this ability to speak good English and sell in English, work in English,
Yeah.
it's
So
a
you become a global talent then.
yeah. We should also.
Yeah.
Even and especially the Gen Zs who are listening to this podcast till this point, they all
And it's possible. See, a lot of people will cry about the fact that they're not born rich. But I will have absolutely zero remorse or pity for someone who is not going to be rich in the next 20 years because of the kind of tools that's available to them right now.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen people who were dirt poor becoming rich now because of the AI tools available. So the problem is not lack of opportunities anymore. Right? Like if you removed all my money and all my fame right now, but leave my knowledge at least, the things that I know, I will make it back. Probably not as fast as I did because the content world is different now. But in a span of 5 years, I would once again be rich.
Yeah.
I know that, right? Because I believe in it so much, right? And I know that I know how it's done, right? I know what needs to be done, considering the world that we're living in. And it's not that hard as it is made out to be. Right? The biggest problem is procrastination. Very commonly said thing, but it's a very big problem. Like a lot of people are just sitting around doing nothing. It's like they just want to be lazy. Right? They don't know how to manage their time well.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Bijli MBA.
Okay.
What will be the role of AI agents in personal finance in the near future
Okay.
over the next 5 to 10 years? And
I think
explain
5 to 10 years, you told me a lot. When I can't predict that ahead, but I can tell you in the next 1 to 2 years what can be possible. We'll start with that.
Sure.
Okay.
So this is a 2026 AI finance manual.
Right.
Go
right.
on.
So what I think will happen is, firstly, the first thing obviously is to tell AI everything about your finances, right? To give it the context. What a lot of people do, a lot of people will simply go to ChatGPT and say what stocks to buy. I'm sure that's a very popular thing. Or how do I double my money in 5 years? Those kind of prompts people will ask. Now, that's a very dangerous way of doing it because it is going to give you advice without knowing your risk appetite, without understanding your financial obligations. None of that. So the right thing to do is to first make it understand everything about your finances. Now, how do you do that? The government has done some great work over here. They have created the account aggregator framework. It's a very complicated term for a very simple thing. Basically, banks have all our information. They know basically your PAN. Your PAN card has all your data. It knows, what your bank statements are, what's your mutual fund holdings, your stock demat account holdings, your insurance, your credit card statements. It knows everything. So if I know the flow of money entering and leaving your life, I know how much assets you already own, right? Then it's just about you telling AI what's your purpose of your investing. This is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people just say, I want to get rich. But that's not the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to tell AI exactly what that money is meant for. Because every single rupee that you're investing is actually meant for something. Like only once you cross 100 crores, then the purpose of money becomes different. It is where it is about world domination and power, right? Because then you use money to give to politicians, get some favors with the police, influence a lot of things. But that is where the purpose of money is different. But until 10 crore, 20 crores, there's a meaning behind everything. So what, buying a house, buying a car, planning for my retirement, planning for my kids' expenses. So you need to tell this AI agent exactly what are the life events that's going to happen to you, which is going to cause these events of money outflows in your life at specific points in your life, right? And then the AI understands exactly about you. Because even though both of us are of the same age, your investment plan would be different from my investment plan, right? Because your life risk appetite, your financial goals are different from mine. So then you start telling that to the AI agent. Then it creates a full-blown financial plan for you.
As a consumer, I probably need an agent to ask me the right questions.
That also can be figured out. So a good AI agent will probably, once you connect your financial data, it'll ask you questions. It'll be like, okay, let's say you connected all your investments. So like, thanks Ranveer for connecting all your net worth. Looks like you've built a sizable net worth. Now let's understand what are you, do you have any plans for the next 2 years? And we're like, no, I don't have any plans for next 2 years. I'm like, do you have plans for the next 5 years? We're like, oh yes, I'm going to get married and I probably will have a kid by then. We're like, great. How many kids are you going to have? Nice. Do you have any obligations? Are your parents dependent on you for money? Are there any loans that you have? By the way, the account aggregator I was telling you will also get access to your loan information. So I already know what kind of loans you have pending. So before I give you an advice, I know that Ranveer has so many EMIs. I'm not going to tell him to invest in crypto and PM, and hedge funds and startups and all of that. I'm going to tell him, you have these EMIs of 12%, 14% interest rate. Let's figure out how to close that quickly. So I have all of that data, and then I start asking you smart questions like a financial advisor. And then I'll ask you some questions like, hey, if you have 1 lakh rupees and it went down to 50,000 rupees in the next 6 months, how are you going to react? Now here a lot of people are going to lie, right? A lot of people, when I talk to them and I ask them, hey, what's your risk appetite? They'll be like, Sharan, anything, bro. I am ready to just grow my money like anything. You just tell me the riskiest things. I can take any kind of risk, no problem. 6 months back, when they saw a 20% correction in their portfolio, those guys stopped doing their SIPs. They actually stopped investing because they could not handle that volatility. So saying that I can handle a 50% drop in my portfolio if it's gonna, recover in the next 1 or 2 years, versus actually facing a 20% drop in your portfolio and analyzing your behavior at that point of time are two different things. That is why I feel a human advisor is always going to be one additional thing that will be important, because an AI agent at the end of the day will not be able to handle your emotions well. Right? Because you will say, yes, Sharan, I'm ready to handle a 50% drop in my portfolio. But when that 10%, 20% drop comes and the AI is saying, Ranveer, don't exit, but you still exit, that is where the AI has failed. Because at the end of the day, it's just a digital advisor. That is where the human angle of human advisors still will be there. But that's obviously not everybody can afford it. But AI will come to this much extent. But that emotional and behavioral management of Ranveer, of what Ranveer will do when the market goes down, that I think AI will never be able to solve.
Okay. In the last 5 years, we saw this wave of fintech startups.
Yeah.
Without taking any names because no one's paying us money for this episode.
Yeah.
all the common ones.
Yeah.
They're doing well now as well?
It depends. What type of fintech apps are you talking
the
about?
The top most popular ones which sponsor the IPL, etc.
Oh, they are doing really well.
Really well?
Really well.
And they've added a lot of value to their consumers' lives.
No.
Why?
I don't think any fintech app has added any value to any Indian today.
Wow.
Not a single one.
Wow. Why?
Think about it. Let's understand how fintech apps make money. There are only two ways to make money in finance. Either you grow somebody's money and you charge a commission on it, or you give them money, lend them money, and you charge them interest. These are the only two things. Now, let's start about the first one, growing your money. Now, growing your money is basically investing your money, right? So, if you invest in a mutual fund, these companies make nothing, zero, right? Because most of these apps offer direct mutual funds. Direct mutual funds by definition is 0% commission, right? Now, you might think, oh, these companies are so pious, these companies are so good, they're not charging many commissions. But that is the hook. That is to get you on the app and make you invest on the app. Once you invest in direct mutual funds, then they know that this guy has some money. The next thing that they're going to do is to tell you, hey bro, why don't you start trading? I've made this beautiful app for you, where you can do FNO trading. And guess what? People are doubling their money over here. They're making 10,000 profit, 15,000 rupees profit in a single trade. And I'm thinking, hey, I have a 30,000 rupees salary and there are people making 10,000 rupees in a single day. I should get into this and start trading without knowledge, without any finance background, just getting into it, listening to some tips on Telegram channel. This is 98% of the people on these apps. The reason I say 98% is because 93% of people firstly lose money. 98% of people don't even beat the FD returns. Only 2% of the people actually make money. And these are not even people. These are financial institutions who have hired IIT graduates to do high frequency trading in our markets. So 98% of people lose money. But that doesn't matter to a fintech app. Because whether you make money or lose money, I am making a money on every transaction. It could be 0.01%. But when billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, lakhs of crores of rupees are being traded, and if I make a 0.01% on it, I'm making thousands of crores of revenue. So they have not, only 2% of people have made money. That's the first thing. Next comes lending. Now, in your pushing a personal loan, are you making money or are you losing money? If I sell you a personal loan, are you making money or are you losing money?
Losing.
Obviously, right? Now, I'm not going to take the name, but a very large fintech company which marketed itself as a very premium brand for rich people. Now, you might think they're making money by making rich people richer. But the only way they're making money is by selling personal loans to these rich people because they have all the information on your credit card data. I know everything, how you spend money on your credit cards. And I know exactly what your credit score is. Because I know what your credit score is, and I know you have money, and I know you spend a lot of money, I'm going to push personal loans to you for taking that trip, for getting that wedding that you wanted. And I will charge you 16% interest on it. And my profits on that 16% interest will be anywhere between 4 to 5%. So thousands of crores of revenue are being made from this. So these are the only two ways of making money as of now in the world of fintechs. Either I make you trade, where 98% don't even beat FD, or I sell you a loan, which you don't even need because you can actually get 0% interest rate loan by taking money from your provident fund, which no one will tell you. These fintech apps will never market it. They will never tell you that, hey, you can get a 0% interest rate loan from a provident fund. You can actually pay for your weddings from your provident fund. And now you can actually withdraw money without any reason from your provident fund if you have to take a vacation. But no, these fintech apps will tell you to take your personal loans and they will not market it as 16% interest rate. That they will not do. They will tell you, Ranveer, you know how much is it? It's 9 rupees per day interest. 9 rupees per day, you will be like, lace packet, I'll just take it. What is there? 2 months ke liye I'm going to Bali, 9 rupees per day is interest, fine. So that is how they market it to you and push personal loans to you. And India is a very credit hungry nation. Out of all the fintech sectors, the fastest growing sector is lending because India is still a credit hungry nation. We don't have money, right? Anything we need to borrow. So and these companies have huge call center teams. Forget fintech apps, even banks. They have huge call center teams. Like every day I get a call. I'm sure even you get a call for personal loan. Why? Because that is the largest revenue generator for banks and financial institutions.
Good point to talk about this credit score thing.
Yeah.
I heard some Gen Zs in my office talk about how their parents also encourage them to take loans because of the need to improve one's credit score.
That's yes and right. You don't need to take a loan necessarily. If you're using a credit card and you're paying back on time, that's enough to build a good credit score. You don't need to take a loan to build a credit score.
Why does one need a good credit score?
Because one day, eventually, you will need a loan. Because you will want to buy a house, you will want to buy a car. And even if you can buy the house and car outright, you will still want to take a loan. Because the interest rates are very low on home loans. Mm-hmm. And if you have a better credit score, the interest rates are even lower. It could be 8%.
Can you plan your entire life without the need to take a loan?
For 99% of people, no. And you shouldn't also. That's another misconception. People look at loan as a bad thing. There are something known as good loans as well. Right? Like for example, let's look at the richest people in this country. Mukesh Ambani and Gautam Adani. You really think they're debt free? They borrow thousands of crores of rupees. The kind of things that they're building, the green energy infrastructure, that cannot be done. They don't want to use their own money, right? Why would they use their own money? Their own money is invested in the right places, probably in the stock market or whatever, where it's growing. They will borrow money from the banks at 6-7% interest rate and do this work. Similarly, as an individual, let's say you have 1 crore and I tell you to buy a 1 crore house. Most people would do it. They will give up with their entire 1 crore to buy the house because they're like, oh, no home loan interest rate for 20 years. I don't have to pay EMI for 20 years, so I'll buy that house outright. But that's a blunder. Because if you take the home loan interest rate, it's 8%. With the tax benefits, it comes down to 6%. Your 1 crore can be invested in the markets. Let's say you're even able to get 10%. So you're making 10% growth and you're paying 6% to the home loan bank. You're getting a 4% profit. Now, every year this won't happen. But over a 20-year period, absolutely yes. So that's the right way to look at it.
Wise financial decision.
All loans are not bad. Then FD-backed loan. You have an FD, take a loan against it, you get a very low interest rate.
How do you differentiate between a good loan and a bad loan?
Any interest rate less than 8%. Once it goes to the double digits, then better use your own money.
Simple. Nice. Okay.
Education loan is also one of those examples. Because the government wants to keep education loan interest rates low. On top of it, the entire interest is tax exempt. So even if I get an 8% interest rate on education loan, it actually ends up being like 5.5%. So don't pay education out upfront, even if you have the money. A lot of parents make this mistake.
Okay. Back to Bijli MBA. The original question I had planned was that for the 2030s and the 2040s, what are some decisions I can take now? And the more bubblegum question is, could you give me a 2026 oriented piece of financial advice?
Sure. I think the world is going to be very different once we hit 2030. I will probably assume the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario being your job is obsolete. Meaning whatever you're doing right now is not needed in the world 10 years from now. Assuming that, you need to build another skill set. And you need to ask, in the world of AI, will this new thing that I'm learning be disrupted? So first, I would say, start the journey towards that. Because if your source of income is not going to be around, and obviously if you feel like it could happen, it is definitely going to happen. Right? If you have that fear, it is definitely going to happen. Right? That's the reason you have the fear, because you've seen things which you never thought was possible. Second is, build a cushion for yourself that in case you don't have a job for 2 or 3 years, in that transitional period, you have a certain amount of corpus to take care of your lifestyle. Right? So do not live a hand-to-mouth existence for the next 5-6 years. If you're living a hand-to-mouth existence, you could end up on the streets in the next 5 to 6 years. Because let's say we are in the year 2030, you have 1 lakh saved in your bank and you're laid off. And let's say your parents are also dependent on you financially. What's going to happen? That is a reality for a large number of people. So I'm going to assume that as the worst case scenario and say, boss, for the next 5-6 years, build an emergency corpus so that if you're losing a job for 1 or 2 years, you have a cushion. Start the upskilling thing right now so that you don't lose a job for a very long period of time. And the best case scenario, never lose a job because you've perfectly transitioned to the new world. Secondly, I would say if you already have a sizable corpus, invest in inevitable things that's going to happen. Firstly, I would say majority of the money still keep in safe assets. Don't invest, AI, I'll put all my money in AI. Or green energy, electric vehicles, I'll put all my money in electric vehicles. History has shown us that whenever there is a new order of the world that's happening, the people who were the front runners in the beginning did not end up being the front runners later. They eventually die out as well. Now, I'm not saying Tesla and Nvidia is going to die out. They're like too big to fail. But don't put all your money there because it's going to be a very volatile journey going there. Similarly, with the IT boom that happened in the early 2000s, there was a similarly volatile journey before Amazon became what it is today. But I would say, nevertheless, put at least 20% of your money in these inevitable sectors because this is where the maximum growth is going to happen. So this is my plan for the 2030s and the 2040s.
Okay, Mr. Hegde, while we can speak for hours. I think it's a good time to just stop the episode.
Right.
Let's see what the audience is saying. Maybe we do a sequel episode to this one because this
Yeah.
was a very dense one. Thank you for being here. Know you have a meeting. Keep being on attack mode.
Can't believe this went forward for 3.5 hours. I'm very, very happy that this finally happened, and didn't expect it to be so information packed because you told me to tone it down, but I couldn't help myself.
No, it's great. It's
I
great.
hope it was not too technical, and I hope people are able to get some practical, takeaways from this episode, which they can actually start implementing in their life.
Very dense but very useful financial manual.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Hegde.
Thank you so much.